Yo, what is going on, everybody, and welcome to episode number 54 of the Pre-Patch Podcast. Are you, Scruff? I'm just making sure. Enigma, are we live on your? Are we live on your guys' channel?
Not live on mine, no.
Live on mine.
Okay, I'm just watching it, and it just keeps saying sending data, and I just want to make sure that all of our shit's working. I know we're live on Bill. I can see it there.
Enigmas.
Go check yours again, Scruff, if you don't mind.
Mine says live.
Okay.
I see us.
Enigma unable to connect to Enigma's channel. Sending data again.
Unable to do, Enigma?
Enigma, what did you do,
I
bro?
didn't do anything, bro.
Broke the API? You changed your
Fucking
fucking
do. What did you fucking know?
What happened? I don't understand. 404 error.
Sin was talking about streaming on 4 different sites. I guess it's 3
Just
tonight.
3 now. I don't
You
understand.
ain't getting it, man. Yeah.
Okay. Weird. All right. Well, Enigma. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It should be there, but it's not.
Your stream's too small.
Yeah. That's it. You don't have enough clicks. You don't have enough clicks.
Sorry. You're bad.
I don't know. I can't. Okay. Well, the show must go on, but let me know if it changes. I don't know why it wouldn't. It says it's trying to send data. Weird. Anyway, sorry. Enigma's channel. But
Can I just move my cam over while we're in this
yeah, sure, why not? You know what? This is we had too good of a start. Everything worked perfectly pre-show. Now it's just all gonna go to fucking hell. So any case, welcome in. It's episode number 54, guys, of the Pre-Patch Podcast. Casting to multiple channels minus Enigmas. But yeah, we're here. We appreciate you allowing us to have an extra week off. The Elden Rings came out. We would have lost Bill 1,000 times over.
Nah, I would have been there. I'm committed to the cause, but I would.
Oh, absolutely. But your mind would have been somewhere else.
I would have been hella mad though. I might have been playing it on the side.
Yeah. This is actually we have coined this now. It's no longer the Pre-Patch Podcast. It's actually the Lost Elden Arc Ring podcast.
That's really all that we talk about anymore, right?
Yeah. The Elden Lost Arc Ring. Oh, that's what it's gonna become. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's gonna be a good show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but always and of course, we do this live across all of our channels. Whether you're here on Twitch or over on YouTube with Bill, if you want to participate live, feel free to jump in to one of our channels and chat with us. If you can't, well, hit the you can go to Anchor FM / Pre-Patch Podcast and catch our show there. We're pretty much up to date, right?
I haven't posted last week, so I gotta clip it when fucking Craig fucked up.
Oh, that's right, Craig.
I think we're 1 behind on YouTube now too.
Craig is not Russian, right? Just want to make sure he's not
I
Russian.
don't know, maybe.
I don't know. He might be.
Craig's Russian. Shit.
We don't know where Craig's from, to be honest.
Oh man. Well, hopefully he's not in the nuclear site in Ukraine because that is under siege right now. But yeah, you can go check us out, guys. Again, 52 episodes. Yeah, one for every week of the year. Like, it's nutty. That's nuts. It's a lot of content. And
It's pretty good.
yeah, it's gonna keep on going. I can't wait till we get to like 470,000 episodes. It's gonna be nuts. We're gonna be like,
Can't wait for that.
we'll be old men. Remember back in my day, the Elden Ring used to be on PC. Yeah. So
I really want Elden Ring on PC right now.
yeah. So let's get into Twitch news.
Kick it off, bro.
Muted lurkers, they count again.
Yeah.
I think this has been counting for a while because I have my streams up and I have them muted through Google, and it always counts as a viewer for me. I don't know.
I think what is new is like muting the actual
thing.
stream. Like, you can actually mute the stream now. You don't have to mute your tabs and whatnot. I think.
I don't know. That's weird. I mean, whatever, I guess. I don't. I mean, I just mute the whole fucking Twitch anyway, so it doesn't. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'm surprised though they actually like came out and said it and made it a thing. Of course, it makes sense that still you can't like pop the chat out and count as a lurker. I don't see why that would count as a lurk because you're just in a
Yeah,
chat.
I don't even understand. Yeah, I don't understand that
watch
either.
on
Like, what
stream.
is it? What like?
I don't know. I never did it. If anything, it's too much work in my opinion.
Well, honestly, like, fuck most people's Twitch chat for the most part. Like, especially like big. Like, I asked in I'm gonna call him out. I asked in Summit's chat a question and got fucking berated. I was like, "Hey, is Summit playing on PC or PS5?" And got fucking railed. I'm like, okay, fuck this dude. Like, seriously. Like,
Twitch chats are toxic, bro.
And you probably enjoyed it.
it's crazy. Yeah, I was just like, hey, hold on a sec. Next time, don't use lube, please. Just right up the cornhole. No, it's ridiculous, man. I don't know, but that's a stupid comment. Like, I don't even. Why would that count for viewership? To have like 40 fucking chats open? Like,
Oh.
I don't.
It shouldn't, and even by Twitch and Amazon's mindset, it shouldn't. Just
No.
because there's no way for they're not sending ads through the chat feature. So
Right.
Because that's at the end of the day, a viewership is something that can be advertised to.
Well, that's
Twitch
that's the only
Amazon
reason.
buys.
That's the only reason they care. Like, I mean, and
Yeah.
what I
exactly.
honestly I think probably happened is that a lot of and situations is that Amazon basically looked at it, or whoever looked at it and went, oh, hold on one second, like, we've done this over the past, I think, what, 2 years now? I think that's what it's been, is that if you muted streams, it didn't
Something
count,
like that, yeah.
or whatever, that the for ad revenue purposes of either partners or whatever and brand agents, like, I can tell you, like, as a person that works in the brand agent industry, viewership, CCV, all of that is big. So if anything is going against it, well, then that's a negative. So I'm sure someone made a big stink about it and they made it, reversed, or like I said, I thought it counted anyway. So I don't know, but yeah. So congratulations. Now you can all mute our streams and not even pay attention to me counted as viewers. So awesome.
I'll mute this stream now.
Yeah, right. No, don't
now.
mute this one. Don't mute this one. Actually, Bill, does YouTube have that same system? Is that something there as well?
I have no fucking clue. I just roll with the punches over here. I'm still trying to figure it out, and I could honestly not tell you what counts as a view and what does not.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting to bring up because I have no idea either. Maybe we'll look into that.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I can do a quick
And
Google search on it while we're talking
Depends
about it,
on the
but-
day with YouTube and Google, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I mean, they've got enough stuff to worry about. I'm sure that's not one of the things that they're most
It's a whole nother
concerned
game
about.
on like Facebook of where like even just scrolling past the
Does
stream.
anybody even, like, honest to
Possible.
God, does anybody even know that Facebook Meta
I don't know.
Meta
I haven't
live
heard
streaming
anything
exists?
from it in
Like,
a while now.
they're already under fire. Their
It's
stocks are
It's
tanking.
not Facebook, guys. It's actually Meta.
Yeah,
so-
well, whatever. It's fucking tanking. Also, too, I love the fact that I've seen recently, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but everyone's like, oh, metaverse. And they're like, well, I'm spending 100 days in the metaverse. I'm like, no, you're not. You're in VR chat. Like, that's not a fucking metaverse. That's VR chat. It's
Bro, that's a metaverse. What you talking
Okay.
about? What you talking about?
that is just a degenerate den of nothing but nastiness. I don't know.
Muted streams count on YouTube. It's the same policy that Twitch has just went back to. So as long as you're able to get a visual ad, then you're counted as a viewer.
Okay.
Makes sense. Cool.
Okay. Well, there you go. In other Twitch news, apparently we are all too small to matter. If we don't get clicks, then it doesn't matter, and we're just not worth anyone's time, or at least Artesian's time, if that's the way that we're going to go about it. And our resident Artesian expert, Scruffy, how you feel about that, bud?
Bro, I'm salty. No, I like legit. I'm actually like I saw that and I was like, really, dude? Like this makes me. It makes me honestly mad that I own a PC built by Artesian.
Well, all you got to do is just
right now, unplug it and throw it out your window.
Yeah,
right
oh,
fucking now.
Right, fuck
Burn-
it. Yeah, we're going there.
burn that bitch to the ground. Just
Bro,
torch it.
I legit like I have contemplated like writing them an email, and even though it'll get me nowhere, be like, give me a refund. I'll send your PC back. I don't want it. I don't want this in my house. Bro, no, it really sucks though, because like they just trashed on one being the streamer that was targeted, Kia, and then also other streamers too. There was like 2 other streamers that they trashed on for being a small streamer and re-rolling their giveaway that they rightfully owned, but they switched the giveaway rules last second.
Did you watch that that clip that I posted today by chance?
Was it a new one? Because I don't know.
No, it was just another clip that they had pulled from it, and it was like his apparently the mods that were in the
I
chat
didn't know
were
what was
like
going on even.
we're like, what the fuck, dude? Like
Yeah.
you can't just change that shit like right on the fly. And
Well,
and
they-
his literal response was, well, essentially, I'm paraphrasing, but his literal response was like, I'm the CEO. It's my company. I'm gonna do what I want. Fuck off, essentially.
I mean, yeah,
like,
hey, you
they
have
were even asking like, so what qualifies somebody now to win this? Like they don't even know. Like
look, man,
Crazy,
he's
dude.
not wrong. He's the CEO. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to tank his fucking entire company into the ground based off of
Yeah.
one stupid comment, and congratulations, you did it.
I don't see Intel working with him anymore.
I don't
that's
see
for
many
sure.
people. I mean, OTK pulled their sponsorship.
OTK pulled
like
out, yeah.
FaZe
oh,
pulled their
brought a message
sponsorship.
out pretty much saying that they were too, I think, but they
Who?
haven't made it
They did.
official.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Intel.
was
It
it?
was
Intel-
it was
they
an
didn't- they
indirect,
didn't-
pretty much.
Well, they didn't say that they've stopped working with him.
Yeah.
They condoned their how he handled it essentially.
Also, Scruff,
Which
all
is
you,
good,
all
it's
you,
fine, yeah.
all you got to do, Scruffy, is legitimately just take your case and put it into a different case, and now it's a Scruffy built PC and not an Artesian built PC. There you go.
Good, yeah, because there is Artesian branding on it.
Yeah,
So
there you go. Just change cases.
Just stick some black duct tape or something over the
Oh,
Artesian.
look,
brand,
look,
you'll be
man,
alright.
look. If you take a zip tie and you zip tie another, cut the zip tie and zip tie it back, you've built that PC. That's a Scruffy built PC now.
actually, I did do that.
Okay, well then there you go.
is
You're
a
good.
piece
You're
in there.
good. You're
That-
good.
It's
You're
a
good.
Scruffy built
It's
PC.
a Scruffy PC. It's an agency PC now. It's good.
Scruffesian PCs.
Scruffy. Yeah, it's a douchebag move, man. Like there are a lot of companies out there that do this, and look, we understand, right? We all of us here collectively maybe get 50 viewers, like all together 100 viewers, you know, all
I
together.
know what y'all are talking about. My second fucking channel. I'm actually Shroud.
Your
so-
channel's not even live right now. Shut
Yeah,
up,
bro.
I'm actually Shroud, bro. I'm streaming right now. Fuck you guys.
Oh, so you badmouth games and then spend thousands of
Yeah,
dollars on that
yeah.
on said game?
I mean, so do you. Shut the fuck up.
yeah, right. Hey, I don't badmouth that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't know. We're all small streamers. Like the reality of it is that yeah, we may not get a lot of clicks or affiliated, whatever, but you open up an ambassador program, you're going to open it up to small streamers, for a lot of us, that's a big deal. Like I'm a Lost Ark partner. I'm sure that a Lost Ark is not making much money, if any money off of me. I'm a Rogue partner. I don't get anything special for that. Like, I mean, but I still get emails from them, and every single time that someone uses my link, they're like, dude, congratulate. I'm sure it's an automated bullshit, but they still like, congratulations, this is awesome. Like, keep pushing, keep doing. And I do have someone at Rogue that has reached out to me. So like, I don't get it, man. I just don't understand this mentality. Actually, I do understand this mentality.
It's like I said. It's straight up entitlement. Like it's straight up. I don't want to say it because I've said it before, but it's their specific area that they live in. That's extremely prevalent, like 100%. And then I know that he grew up in that area, and he's probably a trust fund kid.
He probably smells his own farts. So,
he really strikes me as the kind of kid that's like that grew up and was like, well, because I don't have the Lamborghini car, it's not the best.
It's because his
car,
ambassadors don't have enough clicks. That's why.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
I did see that apparently their business license went out, and they're getting kind of hit for fraud, for tax evasion.
Awesome.
All right, just add it onto the list.
Jesus
Crazy,
Christ,
man. I don't know if that's true. I just saw something today that was like a post on their Twitter where somebody had dug up their business license, and apparently, yeah, they haven't been paying their taxes.
That's great.
Wouldn't
Well,
surprise me.
anyway, I mean,
but speaking of PC though,
yeah, Enigma.
so glad I didn't buy mine from them, because I literally was about to buy one from them within the next month, but I didn't, and I got a freaking 3080,
You have a
baby,
stroke?
3080 Ti.
Nice. Yeah, no, you and Bill, right?
Me and Bill, yeah.
Yes,
3080s.
sir.
Bill,
Thank you,
and
Enigma,
I.
for the plug again.
Yeah.
did your card get there?
Mine's coming in tomorrow.
Bill's
It's in
in
PA
there,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Nice. Well, congrats.
Did yours literally come from fucking India? Like really, or was it Indiana? Or
There's a
Indiana.
big difference.
Okay, that's what I thought because you said India, and I was like, what?
Did I typo in the?
Yeah, you said India. I was like, what the fuck?
Not Indiana. Sorry.
I'm like Bill's getting
away.
Bill's getting a Bollywood.
some
3080 Ti, baby.
some poor scammer over there is getting their shit kicked in and their graphics card taken so Bill can have a fucking go.
My PSU came from Indiana. My graphics card came from Cali.
Yeah. Like you said India, I think, and I was like, damn, son, like mine came from Cali, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we got a new PC build starting out probably tomorrow. I'll be setting it up tomorrow.
Very
Try and post
excited
some
about mine as well.
Try and post some pictures on Twitter whenever I get it finished. So
Scruffy, do you have a Pokemon community game in your channel?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking
It's
at
a chat thing.
I'm looking at chat and I'm like, what the fuck is
No,
happening?
it's pretty cool, man. It's a cool extension. Just catch Pokemon and
Hey,
game
during-
knowledge.
has a freaking what's it called? Ever come up?
Nah, not yet. There's a drowsy.
Okay, so now we're the Elden Lost Ark Pokemon Ring podcast.
Speaking of
Got it.
Pokemon, that's a decent segue if we're done with the Twitch and the.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
been,
go for it.
playing Pokemon, or you want to talk about the news of Pokemon, or what you want to do, Bill?
No, I don't. I haven't been playing Pokemon.
No?
I've been playing
what is
Arceus,
the
but
news
we've
of
already
Pokemon?
talked about that. I do we want to do?
We could hey,
Do we want to do the Nintendo news?
Sure, why not? Nintendo lineup. The
Around tonight.
yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
keep it spicy. We're gonna keep it different. We're gonna keep you on your toes.
Nintendo.
Scarlet and Violet came
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
I don't
like,
know
in
how
the
I feel
same
about
year.
this, man. Like,
Yeah, me and
but-
myself and Sin were literally talking about it, like last night, I think, or the night before, and
Yeah,
I was like,
Brett's
what?
hella sketched about it too. They literally just released Arceus
Right.
last month,
Well,
and they're
Yeah,
like,
that's what we
has
were saying.
this-
We were like,
has this
they
ever
literally
happened?
just released a new game. Why
have
are
they
coming
have they
out
ever
with a
done
new
this
one?
before where they've released it like that? Like I know like they'll have the two games, like you usually have like again Scarlet and Violet or Black and White or whatever else come out, but have they had
it's usually more of a Call of Duty schedule where it's a yearly thing. I don't think unless they've done like a spin-off, it doesn't typically like
and this
two mainline games in the
this'll
same
be
year, which I guess
4.
technically Arceus is a spin-off, quote unquote, but Arceus was a testing ground for what they're doing with Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I mean
so-
that makes me think like they've been having this Scarlet and Violet. You know, they've been building it as well as
Probably
Arceus.
two different teams.
Yeah,
well
and-
it's
But
hard.
it is really weird that they released that last game and now they're like right on the tails of it. They're releasing another. That seems counterproductive for the hype for your previous game that you just released.
well, it's also
it's
sorry, go ahead.
it's just really weird. And I guess from a like development perspective, if it's not that much different, because let's be real here, Game Freak's wanting to do the bare minimum to get the big buck. If it's just riding on a very similar engine as Arceus, just with new Pokemon, and all they had to do was like design environments and stuff, which all the
It looks that
complaints from
way.
yeah, all the complaints from Arceus, besides like the graphics still look kind of shit, but at least the environments look significantly better than what Arceus did.
in Scarlet
Other than-
and
Yeah, let me.
uh,
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
find
I
it.
will say that it did look a little bit more like graphically.
Yeah, the graphical
Sounds-
fidelity on the Pokemon and of the like environments in general. Like it still looks like it could be like higher end GameCube graphics, but it at least looks a bit better.
Which again pushes me back to what I said when we talked about the last Pokemon game. Like it shocks me that they released it in that state, knowing from previous games that the Switch can push more graphic fidelity than that.
that's why I think they
Yeah.
were building these both at the same time, and they probably weren't putting as much effort into Arceus other than the core gameplay.
Well, yeah, but it's just
Yeah,
the-
that's-
the thing to me that's just there's no way to, in my opinion, to really look at this and not kind of see like a more scummier move in the sense of like why did Arceus even come out?
Yeah.
Unless you're just trying to cash in
They-
on
They
this.
wanted to do a prequel tale, but they also wanted to like. I guarantee it was just a test bed game, just to
Oh,
see
yeah,
what the community
100%.
reaction
Yeah.
was to
Now-
a new direction.
And they'll
of
still
No.
hype that up to get that money, you know.
Now, did Arceus, did it have like two versions like the
No.
rest of them? Did it have like an
No,
Arceus Gold and Silver?
it's technically a spin-off game.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's if you think about it, that's 4 Pokemon games in the matter
Yeah,
of
man.
a span of a year and a half because you had Pokemon Snap or
yeah, it's
Pokemon
crazy.
Snap,
a lot.
whatever it was, coming out.
Yeah.
But
Snap
but
two,
also
yeah.
also if you think about it, like, and I hate to rag on it, but like the graphic fidelity and the textures and everything like that, like the quality of the textures, you could pump those games out relatively quickly.
Yeah.
You can.
What I don't
And
under-
Game Freak. Let's be real here. Game Freak's put out one game over the past 20 years. They
Yeah.
just keep reskinning it. They are the kings of doing the bare minimum, but since it's Pokemon, people eat it up. And I understand
Yeah.
the gameplay loop of Pokemon is very enticing, very fun, but it is still bare bones gameplay design. Game Freak
Catch a Pokemon, fight
is
Pokemon.
notorious for that, and it's a real damn shame because as popular as Pokemon is, you would think they would be putting more effort into it, like what the rest of Nintendo is doing with like the DK games, the Mario games,
Yeah.
the Kirby games, the
To
Metroid
be
games,
honest,
like,
man, like if they released like a Pokemon that was like a Monster Hunter World type game, I would play that shit. That'd be dope.
You're not gonna release that where you're beating the shit out of
That'd be
Pokemon.
dope, bro.
I think they ought to do, honest to God, man, I think they ought to do something like Temtem and make an online game that is an MMO style game and
holy
just
shit, I forgot about Temtem.
yeah. I mean, and honestly,
So did everybody
Temtem
else.
had a good like.
honestly, Temtem, like
good
the
idea,
numbers
they
on
just-
Temtem aren't terrible. Like, and it's getting good, good reviews. They just dropped a new DLC not that long ago. But like,
Still
I
gotta
can't
go.
stand the way they run in that game though.
le-
Cannot stand it.
legitimately, in my opinion, it's a better version of what this is. Like, you're
Temtem has 463 people playing it as of an hour ago.
okay. Well, maybe they're not the greatest numbers in the world, but I mean, it
I mean, that's still because Pokemon, Arceus, and all these other games are coming out, and people are not probably paying much attention to it anymore.
right. And I think if Temtem were to like launch on the Switch, I think it would do well. I don't know. I mean, I think like doesn't Game Freak, aren't they just they're not the ones that created Pokemon, right? Like Pokemon was something prior to Game Freak owning it, correct?
No,
I'm
Game
pretty
Freak's
sure of
always
it.
owned it.
So
Has it?
and Game Freak
I
is
didn't think I didn't think original ones were Game Freak.
I thought who hold on, who originally created? Let's see, who originally created
Are we talking the anime or the gaming series?
the game?
Or the cards.
Game Freak has owned the game series since Red and Blue.
There you go.
Okay. Wow. Because my whole thing about it is like, why not just do, why not take a little bit of time and actually make it an MMO, make it like, because again, you think about it, from MMO expansions, DLCs, fucking packs, dude. I mean, it would fucking sell like gangbusters, man. Like a Genshin Impact style, like Pokemon game. Holy shit.
but what Nintendo doesn't do MMOs. I don't think Nintendo has an MMO, do they?
No,
Doesn't mean that they
don't.
No, but they never had, or at least there was never an open world Pokemon before this. So
I'm right there with you, this, and I would like to see them take the Pokemon in more of an action game oriented direction, but then that goes against, again, Game Freak making maximum profits off minimum effort. They would actually have to develop
Yeah,
a
they'd
full
have to
gameplay loop
Actually
outside
put full gameplay loops in,
outside of
bro.
menus. And
I
I
stick
did a
by it,
video
man.
on a Souls-like version of Pokemon that incorporates like an live action style game. It's never gonna happen, but it's something that even like a Pokemon like actual like a DBZ, like if they
Fighter.
took like Fighter Z
Well,
but made it Pokemon,
did-
that would be fucking
Did you ever play the
legit.
Pokken it's Pokemon what is the name of that game? It's
Pokemon Tekken?
No, it's Pokemon Tekken.
Token?
Is it Pokken? Yeah, it's like it's their fighter game that was on the Switch and it launched. Pokemon fighting game. Hold on.
Pokken Tournament.
I forgot. Yeah, it's Pokken Tournament. That game is actually really fucking good. And it is a fighting game.
That's not the MOBA, right?
No.
No, this is a fighting game.
No,
man.
this is a fighting game. It's actually really good. And again, I'm right there with you too, man. If you made like an Arc system or style 2D fighter, like Marvel versus, or like a cross system, like a Marvel versus Capcom or Street Fighter, fuck, dude, I think people would eat that shit up. But I don't know. I mean, it's sad because I think Pokemon has become what was like. I remember Pokemon, red and blue and yellow of being like the creme de la creme, and it was just like this such a unique thing and something different and whatever. Now it's to me, it's just a fucking joke. Like it's just a shill of what it used to be, which
It's
is
always
sad.
been a joke.
So it's not always been a joke. That's not
It's
true.
always been a joke.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, it's not. Anyway, so I wanted to show. That's not what I want to see. This is what I wanted to show off. So this is their the Nintendo launch lineup for 2022. You think this is legit? That they're actually gonna be able to launch all these things? I mean, you're talking triangle strategy, which I'm actually interested in. That comes, I mean, I know that comes out tomorrow, but I'm actually really interested in that. It's like the Octopath
That's the
style,
yeah.
weird fucking name, but it's like the Final Fantasy
I'm-
Tactics Octopath style.
Yeah, I'm not sold on it, but I wasn't super sold on Octopath either.
Dude, oh, it's so good. I love Octopath Traveler.
At least 2 of these titles gets delayed.
Oh, I think
I'd
Legend
say
of
the
Zelda,
Breath of the Wild
Legend of
gets
Zelda,
delayed.
100% gets
That,
delayed.
Yeah.
For sure. But
I bet you that Bayonetta 3 will get delayed, and I bet you that Legends of Zelda 100% will get delayed.
100%, yeah.
Pokemon will not get delayed. Pokemon will come out.
As you can see, they've already put out.
There's no effort to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
Kirby comes out next month, which looks really fun.
Yeah, I'm excited about Kirby. I think it looks really cool. I'm excited for the memes that's gonna come out of Kirby. To be honest,
There's already tons, man.
it's so
Kirby's
stupid.
already a meme.
Nintendo's. I'm actually excited for Nintendo Switch Sports, man. I think that's like I loved Wii Sports. Me and
I
my
used to love
kids,
Wii Sports, yeah.
we played the shit out of it.
I'm excited about Striker.
Yes, I'm excited about Striker as well. Like that's the one thing that they do really, really well. And honestly, I really want them to bring back Mario Basketball. Like they had an NBA Jam style basketball game. I really want them to bring that back. It was like Mario Hoops, I think it was what it's called or something.
Honestly, the only game on this list I'm not super excited about is Splatoon, just because I'm not interested
Yeah, I
that
don't-
much in Splatoon and Triangle Strategy because I play Final Fantasy. So
Yeah, I don't care about. I don't. Are you excited about Mario and Rabbids? Like the first game was actually good. Like it was a good XCOM clone, but
I was
I'm
gonna say, that was
interested
XCOM
to
style.
see what it looks like closer to launch. I do like that cover based strategy style game, like the XCOM style games. I do enjoy that.
Yeah.
So
Are you a Fire Emblem fan?
yeah, I like Fire Emblem too. I've got 3 houses. I've played a few for the Game Boy Advance.
yeah.
I didn't know.
Anyway, that's the launch lineup for that. Nintendo. It's strong. If they can actually release all of this stuff, it'll be a strong year for Nintendo for sure.
The Switch is gonna. Well, they need something like this with the Steam Deck coming out. They need to do something to keep
Steam Deck
themselves-
has already beat him. Like 100%
I mean,
has already beat him.
the Steam Deck's 100% beat them, but they need a good lineup to stay relevant in the handheld market.
Yeah. I mean, they'll always stay relevant. I can't.
They will because of
Yeah.
their nothing but
People that
exclusives.
play Nintendo are always going to play Nintendo. There's no getting past that.
Yeah,
because Nintendo makes good games.
but what I will
I
say,
really
Okay.
don't see too much
Okay.
competition, honestly, between Steam Deck and Nintendo Switch. Like,
you're crazy.
I think they'll just live
It's a
coincide.
handheld.
You're
yeah,
crazy, bro. It will
it's
100% be a
100% there's
competition.
between them.
No, I mean, sure, but I think they'll still live going like by each other. I don't
They'll live in
think
their own worlds.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo
They just-
always lives in their own world.
They'll
but-
live in their own worlds the same way the DS and the PSP
Yeah.
lived in their own worlds with the
Rip the
PSP,
PSP. That
living
thing
in a
was
shadow.
ahead of its time.
Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. Do you think that Nintendo would ever go to a strategy of handheld only and get out of the console, like home console market?
I think they're already going that direction.
Yeah, I was going to say they've already gone that direction. They
Yeah,
haven't
I don't-
released a
I don't
console in
see
like
them-
what?
Well, that's what the Switch is a home console. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
but it's more of a handheld than it is a console. It has a dock, but it was centered around handheld. Take it where you
Yeah,
want.
I don't see them going back to console base any more than what the Switch is.
What I'm saying
I
is like
see them doubling down.
actually just leaving the Switch, leaving the docking completely behind and saying we're just gonna go down handheld route.
I think
Period.
it'll always be an option.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
think
so.
there should. I don't know.
I don't know. I see them going down a
Well,
route
for
of
them to
being
be
a
able to
handheld
do
only.
games like the Nintendo Switch Sports, to be able to use the motion controls of the Joy-Cons and stuff and have that kind of ingenuity, they need a way to at least hook it to a TV or maybe Bluetooth it so that you can like send signal to a TV like a Nintendo app or whatnot, or like a dongle that you plug into your HDMI port.
Dongle.
I still
But then you get latency and all that bullshit.
I still say that the route for them to go, man, is a publisher route, or not a publisher route, but yeah, a publisher route. Just basically a developer route. Like, fuck the consoles, fuck all of that shit, and put it just on.
Yeah, but Nintendo's not gonna.
No, they won't do it. But I'm saying I think that's that to me is a smarter strategy. Like, just say screw it. We're gonna allow this shit to be played everywhere.
I mean, it is because that's what we're seeing with Microsoft. But I don't see Nintendo doing that.
No,
Nintendo makes a lot of money off of their hardware.
Nintendo do what Nintendo.
They got to be the only one that makes a lot of money because their hardware is fucking expensive. So,
hardware is expensive, and at least up until this generation, that's been pretty decent quality, though.
Well, I'll say this: hardware is expensive for current gen consoles. Hardware is not expensive for Nintendo because Nintendo doesn't put out current gen consoles. Nintendo puts out consoles from last generation that they innovate and make it in some new way form. Like a Switch is not a PS5. A Switch is not an Xbox Series X, and it's definitely not a Steam Deck. Like
let's be real though. Like the most popular console that's going to be releasing is going to be the Soldier Boy console. Like, it's just going to happen.
One of those.
Bro, it kind of sucks though because of like how expensive their equipment is, that games like Pokemon Arceus and Scarlet and whatever are not utilizing the full potential, honestly.
Yeah, and that's just the laziness of the developer though. It has nothing to do with the actual.
But yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, as a consumer, like, I feel like not enough people are really like upset about it. Like, I would. No,
it's because it's Pokemon. Pokemon fans will accept Pokemon for whatever Pokemon.
I think you guys are fucking high if you don't think the community's kind of in an uproar about how bad Arceus looked coming out. Like, the gameplay is fine. It doesn't handle like very well in some instances, and it looks flat out terrible in others, and the community's been very vocal about it. Like
everybody that I have talked to in streams across like your stream, Sin's stream, Scruffy's stream, even Tony's stream, was in there when he was playing it, has fucking been like, oh, this it looks amazing, it's the best Pokemon ever, and I'm like,
who in my stream has said that? Because I called.
Yeah, who in my stream said that either?
I don't know.
Anybody that's been playing it in my community has been like, yeah, it looks like poop, but it's fun.
I mean, what I will say is that me and Enigma brought this up, and we did get hit with some
lambasted.
Some vigor.
I retracted everything I said back.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying just in general. Like, I have gone into Tony. Like, Tony was playing it. I mean, we're talking about Hey Tony with 5 Ys. But I went into his channel and was like, bro, this game looks like dog shit. Like, it legitimately looks like crap. And I don't understand, like, and people were just like, you're like, I got fucking just completely flamed because it was just like, this game just not like
people must have opened their eyes after they really got past like.
Well, yeah, I guess if you play a fucking video game with your eyes closed, you're not gonna know what it looks like. But if
I don't know, man.
Like, I mean, I don't know.
The game is fun, and I think people are willing to at least initially give it a pass. But once they start to get into the grind and they start seeing some of the jank, like,
yeah,
I think like if they and again, graphics isn't everything, honestly,
right? An amazing game. Like, Arceus did do really well for the Pokemon brand. It's the innovation that they needed. Whether they milk this into the ground over the next 5 to 10 years, like this formula, probably, but it, at least for now, it's fresh and it is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and again, graphics aren't everything. I think that if maybe Scarlet and Violet hadn't, like, whoever was in their marketing team or development team or production team or project management team that said, hey, I think it's a really good idea for us to release Arceus, and then also too, in 9 months, let's release 2 more fucking Pokemon. Like, that it almost, like, they say, like, whoever, that's just stupid. Like, just fucking dumb. Like, yeah. Are you moronic? Like, push it to 2023, then you're fine. Then you can, and no one cares, but whatever. Anyway, I mean, this is the lineup for the Switch. You guys have some great games.
Strong lineup. I'm very excited about the majority of these games.
But
it's gonna be a good time.
I will be playing on my Steam Deck. I did pre-order one, so I'm excited to get.
I've also pre-ordered one. I'm just waiting for the ship date.
They were supposed to get them into March, is what Valve is saying. I don't know if you saw the latest report.
Well.
That's fucking crazy, dude. They said that they've got like, I think, almost 1 million units ready to ship.
You see that Gaben himself was handing them out?
Who?
That's pretty sweet. Gabe
Oh,
Newell.
Gabe Newell, yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is impressive, man. Like they fixed stick drift with a fucking patch, bro. Like a firmware. That's nuts. It's I don't know, man. I give him credit. That's pretty impressive, for sure. So, okay, we're gonna bounce back to what we've been playing. We're keeping everybody on their toes, here. But Bill, let's start. Look, man, we got to talk about Lost Ark last episode. I'm gonna give you your moment in the sun, buddy. This is you. This is all you, baby doll.
Look, even got all dressed up for it too.
All right.
I'm always dressed up. I'm always looking good these days.
The Elden of Rings. Let me ask you your first.
Yeah.
Let me just ask the first question right off the bat.
Yeah.
Is it everything that you hoped for and wanted?
It honestly exceeded a lot of my expectations. And the more I get into the game, the more it exceeds those expectations. I was honestly a bit skeptical about the open world aspects of Elden Ring. And just like hesitant that, for one, it was going to have like having a world as big as what they were advertising. I was afraid it was going to be empty. I was afraid it was going to be a lack of like handcrafting and care, I guess I should say. It's very much not the case. And I was also like, I knew it was going to be a good game because it's very much based on the Dark Souls 3 formula in that engine. So mechanically, I knew it was going to be there, but the open world is the biggest aspect that had me concerned, and it's continuing to exceed my expectations moving forward. Believe it or not, as big of a fanboy as I am of From Software and of these games, I went in fairly skeptical on this game. And I'm happy to say that my skepticism was unfounded.
I mean, people are giving this 10s, right? Which I
Everyone.
am very, very, very adamantly opposed to games getting 10s, because I think that there's no perfect game.
Yeah, there's no perfect game, and Elden Ring's not a perfect game.
Do you? So do. I don't know how to say it without saying, like, do you think it's a 10? But I mean, like, is it?
Let me take some of the pressure off of you here. I will say it is the best game that From Software has put out. It is exceeding Bloodborne in my enjoyment levels, and will probably become my personal favorite game from the From Software catalog, and potentially my favorite game that I've ever played. That is for me personally.
Skip ahead.
And my current favorite game of all time is Bloodborne and Resident Evil 4 tied, because I love both of those games very, very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's so one of the things that I looked at.
Also, do you like my avatar?
Yeah, it looks just like you.
Made, yeah, it's the little pale naked me running around with a beat stick.
One
talking
of
to Mr. Owl.
One of my friends says you look like Fred Flintstone.
I look like Fred Flintstone.
Fred Flintstone, yeah.
Gotcha.
So one of the things that I went into this worried about, right, was like, and I think everybody kind of had that same feeling, is this idea of open world, right? And how does this affect, because Dark Souls, because again, or the Souls style play, because again, Souls games are meant to be punishing, but one of the elements that they do for making it punishing is this idea of you're in a hallway, you're in a small ass location, you have or you're in a kill room per se, right? And so and you have to deal with not only the people that are around you, but also the confined space of that. Now I know that later on in the game, in some areas, it does kind of go back to that style, right?
Like in most areas it does, honestly. Okay. The only place where you have that level of like freedom that's like unfamiliar to the Souls games is in the open world specifically. In the open world, you have horseback combat, you have stealth, you have a lot of avenues to attack things. And the open world gives players coming into the game the option to kind of I guess flesh out their characters. It's an environment made to build your character up so that whenever you push into the dungeons, whether they be minor dungeons or the legacy dungeons, that's where the Dark Souls comes in. That's where things narrow into that familiar formula. But even then, nothing. So the minor dungeons feel very much Dark Souls, Bloodborne, that style of thing. They feel like the Chalice dungeons on steroids. They're all handcrafted, so they take away the randomized aspect of the Chalice dungeons. So they have a very good feel to them. None of them have felt the same, which I was very happy about. You have your catacombs, you have your caves, and you have your like buildings, I guess. Those are the three main types of like minor dungeons. But even with those, like, you know what to kind of expect going into it. Like catacombs, they're going to be imps and undead. Caves are going to have wolves, bats, shit like that. Bandits, maybe. They all feel handcrafted. They all feel really lovingly done. I was afraid that it was going to get stale after a while and have kind of an Elder Scrolls feel to it, where each one of the dungeons, like, once you figure out how like a cave style dungeon works, it's all going to run together. Nah, each cave has its own identity and has a really unique feel to it. And I think what really tops that off is each one of these minor dungeons has a boss at the end of it that kind of caps it off.
Do you think that, because one of the things that I've looked at with this too, and having heard a lot of people talk about it, and I have watched you play it, I've watched other people play it. Do you think that From Software can go back to an older style, or do you think that open world kind of has to be? Because what intrigued me to pick it up, right, was, and I like Dark Souls. I'm not in love with it as much as you are or anybody else, but I do enjoy the game, and I enjoy the challenge and the playthrough and all of that kind of stuff. But it was the intriguingness of like the open world, because one of the things I did not like as much about Bloodborne or Dark Souls or whatever, whether I come into it in the very beginning in the zeitgeist or in the middle or end, is that it's like, this is the path you take, this is the path everybody takes. There are some branching elements. You can kind of cheat the system and you can go, kind of wherever you want to, but reality is like, this is the path that you take. With this, it's like, go wherever the fuck you want to go. Like, do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that they can go back to the older style?
They can, and they will. I think Elden Ring, if they continue this franchise, is going to be their open world franchise, but I don't think they're pigeonholed into having to do exclusively open world at this point. I do think that this game has stepped up expectations of their level design and of their map design, but I don't think necessarily that means that they have to go open world from here on out. And I genuinely hope they don't, because while the open world is nice and it is very good in this game, and it's honestly a perfect open world design in my opinion for this style game, there is such thing as too much of a good thing. Well, and I think they could very much burn it out.
I think this game is like a breath of fresh air to a lot of Souls-like players, because all of their games in the past have had that old style of the linear. But I think also that is such a beloved style that, kind of putting this in between a few releases of games like that it's just like, it's refreshing in a way. And for it to actually work and be, a solid game, I think it's even better. In my eyes, at least.
Well, what's funny about it is that there's another game that came out that is an open world game called Horizon Forbidden West, right? That game is actually getting a lot of flack from a lot of people because of the open, like, and just being like open world fatigue. And what I find funny is that it's open world fatigue is the conversation piece around that game, and then a week later you have this come out and people are like, oh, this is great, this is refreshing, this is completely whatever. But again, two different styles of open world. Like, what I think makes this work and why people don't get so fatigued about it is because yes, it is open world, but in games like Horizon and stuff like that, Far Cry, whatever, it's not. It's in my mind, it's a fake open world. It's like, hey, here's an open world, but you got to do all this shit if you really want to kind of go here. Then you got to do all this shit to open up that next section. Whereas with this, it's like, no, you can go to the fucking end of the game, or you can go over here and do this. But you better be good enough to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
minor spoiler here for anybody that hasn't played Elden Ring. It's not plot related, it's just a mechanic related. So if you're not wanting to have any of that spoiled, mute for the next 30 seconds because it's real quick. They actually incentivize you to do that in a really trollish way. I haven't found any mimic chests yet, but there are trap chests that will encase you in a gray fog and transport you to a far fucking reach of the map that you are most likely not leveled for and tell you to deal with it.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, and it locks you to that area until you can make your way to one of the sites of grace, and then you can
That's legit. That's
like
so-
it up, and then it
one-
unlocks your teleporting.
So one question that I have is like, can you trivialize bosses by like grinding the overworld and getting power? Can you just go and just kill random shit and just make a boss encounter completely useless, essentially?
There's the potential for that, but from the way the bosses, from my experience with bosses so far, and this might just be because I'm not heavily stat investing into health. I put my health up to 20 at the very beginning, and then I haven't really touched it until recently, and I'm about 30-ish plus hours in. I'm starting to increase my health again now that I've got my damage stats where I want them. Most bosses seem like they're like 2 to 3 shot. Like they will 2 to 3 shot you. Pretty
I thought
much.
you meant you 2 to 3 shot them. I was like, what?
Nah. 2 to
Well,
3
there's
shot
no way,
you.
man.
but that's also any Souls game. I mean, you could technically do that with any.
Yeah.
You could,
Souls, you know.
except for Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 had a limit on the amount of respawns that an enemy could have,
Yeah.
but all the other Souls games you could farm infinitely if you wanted to. And I had plenty of friends that the only way that they were able to get through the game was to power level. My one friend, so back in college, I got one of my friends to play Dark Souls 2, and he decided that the way he was going to play the game is he was going to clear every area of enemies until they stopped spawning before he would move on to the next area.
God.
Every
And
time.
you know how long Dark Souls
Fuck
2
me,
is?
man.
He was playing that game for 3 months before he got through the base game. And then he never touched the DLCs.
Why do that to yourself? I mean, whatever, man. I mean, again, it's, you know,
Because he
Play the game that you
wasn't
like.
very confident in his ability to play games, and
well, he picked
yeah,
one hell of a
so-
game to play. Then, I mean, like-
he wanted to beat a Dark Souls to say that he beat a Dark Souls, and he heard Dark Souls 2 is the easiest, and he also wanted to just kind of double down on it. So
Back and forth. I thought Dark Souls 2 was like one of the harder ones.
I'm with you on that one, just because the mechanics are a
Yeah.
bit slower. People assume that it's going to be easier, but
I don't know. I don't know much, but
I mean,
yeah.
but
no, but back to the original question, I don't think open world is going to be their necessity. I don't think they're going to become like the next Bethesda or anything like that, or Ubisoft, where open world becomes all that they are able to make
no,
successfully.
I don't think that. I'm thinking that probably the next few games would incorporate this concept of open world.
Well, yeah, it
It'd be
depends on how far they go
intermittent
with the Elden.
releases.
I mean,
Yeah, it
I'm
depends on how far they go with the Elden Ring franchise. And I think the next game that they're working on right now, they're working on a new IP, Untitled, that's
better fucking be
just
Bloodborne
from
too on
leak-
PC.
It's new IP,
IP.
Untitled.
God damn it.
Sin.
Borsk.
That's from leaks, and then Armored Core.
Bloodbirthed.
Bloodbirth, not Bloodborne.
So I wouldn't scoff at the fact that they're probably going to incorporate this open world design into the Armored Core game that comes out.
I mean, it just it's amazing because again, my thing going into this game was that it was not going to be like I was concerned about a couple things. One was like the concept of it being too easy, which from what people are saying and what I've watched, it's not. Like the open world aspect of it, I think adds some ease to it in a way. Like
The open world aspect adds flexibility. I wouldn't say it adds ease, but it adds flexibility on approach.
right,
But that's
because like if you're
that
getting your
open
ass
world
kicked,
is tailored. Yeah.
you can. I mean, if you're getting your ass kicked, you can run away. Essentially, you can just be like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna hightail it out of here," and you know whatever, come
I
back.
haven't met an enemy yet in the open world that I couldn't just run away on horseback. Nothing like even the other horsebacked enemies can't chase you down faster than what your horse goes. And they definitely don't have the maneuverability to like double jump away like from things. So
Do you think
the
a horse
open
is a problem?
And I got one thing you're saying wrong. It's not horseback, sir.
It's cow
It's
horse,
cowback.
Cowback.
cow
Yep.
moose back horse thing. Do you have a problem with that?
it's more of a goat, in all honesty.
Okay, riding goat back, bareback, whatever. Do you have a problem with that? Like with the mount? Because that adds
No.
a lot of, like, they added a jump into the game, which obviously they've had jumps in their games before, but the mount, I don't know. Like I see some people that are like, yeah, it's the greatest thing since they sliced bread. They added this in. It gives you so much more mobility, movement, whatever else. But I didn't know there was mounted combat until I saw somebody do it, and then I was kind of like, that's, to me, cheapens some of the experience, maybe. But I don't know. I've not played it, so
No,
I don't know.
I don't think that's the case. I think specifically because you can't use the mountain everywhere. So they lock you out of the mountain
You can't
quite
use
a
it in
few
instances
areas.
and whatnot, like caves and
You can't use it in caves. You can't
makes
use it
sense.
in most dungeons or legacy dungeons. I've only found one dungeon actually that allowed me to use the cow, and it was kind of a mini like open space
and now
underground.
is the core like kind of progression of this game through those instances and whatnot? It's not actually in the open world, or is it both?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. The
either or?
progression is in the instances. So,
I'm
and
trying to
that's where
skip
I
spoilers.
think the the mount's fine, and the mounted combat is fine. One thing I will say is for at least world bosses and stuff, I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out whether they want me to fight bosses on horseback or if they want me to fight them on foot. That's been the only frustration point because I'll find a world boss and my first instance is to get off the horse and fight it on foot, and then I get my ass kicked a bunch. I'm like, do they want you to just like hit and run this boss?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that was, again, it's it's the open worldness element that I was more wondering about with the horse. If people thought that it was a, you know, a cheaper mechanic or whatever, like you know, when I saw it,
No,
I was kind of like, that seems weird. This dude just came by, like, you know, which again, it was Asmongold, and he had the golden halberd, which you just, in the videos we're watching on the podcast, you just got, and he was using it, and he
Yeah.
was just like one tapping everybody on the horseback, and I was like, well, this seems fucking stupid, like, you
Yeah.
know.
I will also say that the pacing for experience being pushed at you is really, really good. They've toned it down significantly um, so that you are definitely not getting as many runes or souls or whatever you want to call them as you were in prior games, at least not quickly. Like you have to do a lot of open world stuff to be able to get enough experience. And it seems like the cost for leveling has went up as well. Plus, there's a ton of different things that you're going to be spending those runes on outside of just leveling. Like you still need to buy spells. You still need to buy cookbooks so that you can craft new things. You need to be able to upgrade your weapons. Like there's a lot of resources being spent, and it's the only currency in the game. So
Yeah, I mean,
it all funnels into different places to make it so that it's just really well paced.
I mean, it definitely is I would probably say, and agree, and I wonder if you're gonna agree with me or not. I feel like it is definitely probably the most approachable Souls game.
Until you get to the first bosses, I think the approachability is surface level with the open world. Like a lot of people, I think anybody can pick up this game and have a good time in the open world. I genuinely think that's the case. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't have a good time in the open world. I would say that I think most people could have a good time in a decent chunk of the minor dungeons, like the caves, the catacombs, stuff like that. I think they are approachable enough to enjoy. What I think the struggle for people is going to be, and this might be why the open world and stuff is that approachable and is that like quote unquote farmable. These are the hardest bosses that they've made ever.
Yeah, I've heard
Really?
I've heard of these guys, like the boss mechanics, to try to understand and memorize and understand their move set is it's not miserable, but it's
There's
tough.
Yeah, they're even with like some of the minor bosses, like the early game bosses have like 4 or 5 moves that they do, but even some of the like the mid game like minor bosses, it's it's really mind-boggling like trying to wrap your brain around everything and like consistently do the correct answer for things. And again, I don't know if I'm making the game harder on myself because I don't typically use shields and whatnot. I don't know how much the game is balanced around shield play because they did add a guard counter to the game. So that is another option to kind of have an offense to your defense. But
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think a lot of people are going to be drawn in by the open world and then they are going to get roadblocked. But you have the open world to be like, okay, this is fucking me up. I am roadblocked at this instance here. I'm going to go just drive my horse into the middle of somewhere else and
Right.
just fuck around there. It gives you the option. You're not stuck in a roadblock like you would be with Dark Souls or Bloodborne or Sekiro.
well, and that's what
You
I'm hearing from a lot of people that are like, I don't play Souls games, I don't like Souls games, and people are saying like, and I think I even told Enigma off of the little bit that I said was like, I think that you could probably jump into this and maybe get into into a Souls game because again, in
Yeah,
in Souls, it's like you like when you get roadblock, it's just like you're fucked. You're like okay, I'm fucking stuck. I can either go forward, I can go backward. What do I do? Right. Whereas in this one, like you said, you have the open world, jump into it. Fucking go somewhere else, man. Go to the beach, go enjoy a Mai Tai off the fucking coastline or some shit. I don't know.
No,
Like
gotta watch out for those land octopuses on the beach, though. They'll fuck you up.
Land octopussy.
but
Yeah, land octopus. Yeah, you want to hear something fucked up? So they had George R.R. Martin on the lore writing and like world building and stuff like that, along with Miyazaki. And Miyazaki's got like his own kind of like fucked up world building mindsets. You can tell that from like Bloodborne and shit like that.
Yeah.
So land octopuses, they are these giant masses of tentacles that have like big beaks and stuff. They want to consume you, and that is actually lore written into their drops. So they drop you get a land octopus ovary anytime you kill one of them.
huh.
They're all female, and the only way that they can reproduce is by ingesting humans. So put the pieces together.
That sounds like something that George R. R. Martin would fucking put together.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
they're not made of penises, man. Like it's just
Man.
like
I haven't seen a single donger since I've booted the game up though. So
That was going to be one of my
Miyazaki-
major questions. Was like, how many penises have you seen so far, and
Miyazaki
how big
must
are they?
have, from interviews and stuff, Miyazaki kept J.R.R. Martin's scope pretty narrow for a couple reasons.
Miyazaki was like, "Yo, bro, we need to tone down the dicks. Okay, I know you've got a situation with him, man. You got infatuation, but
Bro, he was
Look,
gatekeeping George R. R. Martin.
he's like, look, all right, we ain't trying to be fucking Game of Thrones. All right, we're not killing everybody. There ain't gonna be a lot of dicks. Okay, we're not that. Okay,
that's because
He was very specific on what he wanted J.R.R. Martin to build, just simply because, for one, that those kinds of aspects, and for two, he didn't want Martin to waste his time writing something that they would end up having to like retcon or change due to like a gameplay mechanic. They wanted everything that J.R.R. Martin wrote to be non.
We're gonna find out somehow George slipped in like
Oh,
dicks here
dude,
and
it's-
there.
it's-
he was like George, baby, George. Hold the door on the dicks, bro. Okay, just relax.
if you don't think that we're not getting cock rings as a fucking DLC,
Hell yeah.
let me tell you something. It's one of the Elden Rings.
Elden Ring,
Yeah.
the cockening begins.
Yeah, right. Whatever, something like that. You're crazy, man. Anyway, well, look, man. I mean, I think we can all say it. Like, you know, I know this is a long time
I was
coming.
really mad I couldn't light that torch. That torch.
Here, wait.
Like,
I got one more question for you, Bill. And this is the real
Yeah.
meat and bones of things for me. So
Yeah.
how are the secrets in this game? And
They're
without really
good.
giving them away, but like they're hidden well, they're fun to find and
The
all that kind of
open
stuff.
world gives you every instinct to want to like look through every nook and cranny, and it 9 times out of 10 will not disappoint you. There is something in most corners of the game. The open world, like the map,
Hmm.
gives you quite a few like little hints, and like once you get those map fragments and you actually get the details on the map, it gives you both from like looking over the open world landscape and the map itself. There's plenty of incentivization to be like, hey, there's this on the map. It looks like a structure. I want to go there. And then you get into the open world and you're like, yeah, I can see that off in the distance. Let's
I like
ride
that.
there. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Cool.
it's
And I haven't ran into an environment that has felt empty or fake, like video gamey. It feels fairly lived in and fairly good.
That's good. That's what I like to hear for an open world game, especially like this.
well, I mean,
Yeah, but
it's
let's be real. It's nowhere near Lost Ark fighting invisible fucking walls that you can walk through to
well,
get the
well, there are
cutscenes.
invisible walls that you can't.
There's
even
some
say.
There
invisible
has
walls
been
in
invisible
Elden
walls
But
Ring.
in
there,
the past.
it is no Lost Ark where you're going off the fucking map into a spot. And I'm like, people are like, who the fuck would ever check here? Like, why? Why would
Lost
you do
Ark
that?
has like secrets that are like you question whether it was a design flaw.
Yeah, and then you just like
or
fucking just put
part
them a
of the
couple.
game.
You know, we
I
forgot
feel
that
like that's part of the joy of isometrics, though, is you can
Yeah.
kind of use that like static camera
Well,
point to manipulate.
this is a great segue. But what I would say on the Elden Ring before we segue to Lost Ark is that one of the things that I commend Elden Ring and why I think it works so well in an open world setting is because of that mysterious, like, I don't know, like there's so many things that you look at, even when you first start the game, you have your character created, right? You go in, you go through the typical, you get killed because that's you don't have to die. I guess you could beat that boss, but you get killed.
You can, and there's a reward for it if
Right.
you do manage to beat it.
So, and then you spawn up and immediately you pan back behind you and guess what? There's a fucking item there that you cannot fucking get. And it's like, and it's just, you know, right off the bat. So it's, and you'll meet somebody that you'll be like, hey, very much like, I guess the Onion Knight, like the Onion Knight was from what? Dark Souls 2, 1, 3?
Dark Souls 1 and 3 had
1 and
Onion
3,
Knights.
right? So the Onion Knight, right? You meet him, and then you meet him again further down the line, and you realize, like, when you first meet him, you don't really understand kind of what's going on. Then you meet him down the line, and you're like, you're seeing your bro get, you know, the Onion Knight, he's getting fucked up. You go, you're like, cool, I'm gonna go help him. You kill him, you kill whatever, and then he's just kind of like, well, why the fuck did you do that? My purpose in life was to prove myself, but you thought by helping him, you were help, you know, you were like, it's this element of like, you don't know, like you're just discovering it, and that's the zeitgeist of what makes these games so well, and I think what makes it work so well in an open world because it's now open. It's like this tree could have some kind of fucking meaning behind it, and I have no idea what it is, and you know, because it said
We'll chop
hello.
it down.
Yeah, but you can. But yeah, you can fucking murder every NPC in the game if you want. I mean,
Tree was a
Yeah.
god.
So-
and chopped it down.
yeah. So anyway,
Like, even I'm just watching this boss, and like this is what I'm assuming outside of the tree sentinel that you definitely shouldn't fight super early in the game. This is most likely the first boss that you will fight going into Elden Ring. It's the closest dungeon to your spawn point.
This
And
this
even
cat
watching this,
This boss
This-
is so goofy to me.
this cat statue defies all physics and gravity
dude,
based sciences.
people gave this cat boss a lot of shit in a lot of channels for the way it was coded and developed, and I absolutely love the way it's coded and developed.
dude, it's the perfect introduction boss to how weird and unforgiving this game is, just because this is the most formulaic boss you are going to get in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it is literally an automaton that very much sticks to automaton style attacks. It is very rigid in its movements. All of its attacks have a very specific timing that if you learn, you will figure that out. Not a lot of bosses in this game are going to give you that luxury. There's a lot of bosses that have very similar attack combos, but the only difference is they hold that axe back for a second longer sometimes than what they did the last time, just so that you roll in anticipation and then they smack you out of your roll.
Yeah, it's like your big brother that would go up to you and be like, ha, I'm gonna punch you, and he pulls back his arm and he like flinches for a second, and you're like, nah, I'm just kidding. And he punches you in the
I never had
Yeah.
that.
Oh, your
And
little
I
your little
also wanna
sister.
commend-
whatever.
My big brother wasn't a dick.
That's just
I also
family.
want to
though.
commend From Software on having one of the more successful AAA launches that we've seen. It's definitely not a perfect AAA launch.
Yeah, speak
just
for the
because of
PC people.
Yeah, the state of the PC port it's playable on most people's rigs, but whether you would it's not the optimal experience. And I understand From Software's had issues with their PC ports in the past. They still lock their games at 60 FPS on PC due to the fact that they struggle with a PC port. So hopefully they can get that fixed.
Wish the frame rate is like, because in these games frames matter so much, and your frames dropping is just it's murder, man.
That's the difference between hitting an iframe and missing an iframe.
And I think the reason that they cap their frames is because they have game mechanics that are built around a 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem if it caps
because I know in
it.
Dark Souls 1, if you used a mod to unlock your frames, but you like tried to do a jump, you would drop faster in that jump because the jump was
exactly
only
like
programmed to keep-
Bethesda games.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like Fallout. So, Fallout 76,
their
Fallout
engine
4
is
and
tied
shit.
to the frame speed. So
Your movement speed is based off of your frame speed and shit.
Yeah.
I don't have a
and
problem.
There's been plenty of instances of people like having an unlocked frame. They'll like go down a ladder and you will actually like drop
Phase
to
through the
floor once you
world.
hit
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I don't have a problem with having locked frames, but I have a problem if you're gonna lock my frames, then and especially if I have a rig that can overdo it, I should not drop below that 60 mark.
Okay, Artesian Builds.
It's not that. It's
okay.
but no, it's, and again, if you're not familiar or understanding of like with in other games, you can, a frame drop here or there is not a big deal. Like on a cinematic, it's not a big deal. Like right before the podcast, I went in, I played a little bit. I was trying to fight that, the tree knight or whatever else, and it dropped frames in the moment that he literally was lunging forward. So because the frame dropped, I rolled backward, but because it was a drop frame, I got hit. In a normal situation where I loaded back up and did the same thing, I didn't get hit. So it's like in a game that is gruesomely punishing, that fucking 1 minute dropped frame can be life or death, and it sucks.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm gonna wait on picking this one up.
Frames on rolls are like, they need to be fairly well timed.
I'll wait until they fix their PC situation.
Yeah, 100%. If you have a console, even the PS4 and the base Xbox versions of the game are handling very, very well, from what I understand. I honestly am surprised by that, since they still haven't, like, none of the patches that they did with Bloodborne fixed some of the frame drops in Bloodborne where the game just chugged from like visceral attacks and whatnot. It wasn't like game breaking, kind of like what the PC version of Elden Ring is, where the stutters and the drops are just random.
I
it
think
was due to specific instances.
I think the stutters has been fixed. They came out with a patch. I think a day one patch they came out and fixed the stuttering issue, because I haven't seen anybody. Again, I just picked the game up yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to dive into it.
Are you playing on like all max settings? I know you're.
Fuck yeah, of course I'm
rig
playing on all
can
max settings.
handle it, but
of course he is. This is Sin we're talking about.
The
I wonder if
issue
it's a
is-
specific setting that, if we deep dive into it, is causing that
It is
stutter
not.
or whatever.
It is
It's not.
No, it's been troubleshot by a bunch of people. Low settings, high settings, any combination of like rig. It, no matter what you do, it's something about how the world renders in is causing the stutter issues. So it's something that they're going to need to patch. And the frame drops, I'm almost certain, are the same exact thing. It's not setting specific. It's just something within the build of the game that they need to fix.
I mean, they've addressed it. I'm sure that they will fix it soon. Like they have addressed it.
Day one after the day one patch came out, like the second day one patch, they had a day one patch whenever it launched, and then a day one patch later in the day. And they were very transparent that yes, the PC version of the game isn't holding up to our standards, it is the top priority for getting the game fixed. And the PC version's actually on a different build as of right now from the console versions, just because the console versions are stable. They're not fucking with them. They are solely focusing on making sure that the PC version gets updated and in
Are the
a
console
more
versions
playable
on a
state.
newer build or an older build?
Technically a older build. The builds have deviated,
Do it,
basically, is
Bill.
what I'm
Jump.
saying.
Jump. Do it.
Well,
Can you
I hope it gets fixed soon though. That would be great.
can you out mount in PvP? Can you like get away and mount it or mount in PvP?
No, the horse gets locked out for PvP and co-op.
Good.
So if you're co-oping, you can't ride around on the horse with your friends.
And there's crossplay.
Really?
There's crossplay.
Cross-play between PS4, PS5, cross-play between Xbox and Xbox Series.
The whole not being able to mount up in co-op seems weird to me. Like, why would they lock that?
Well,
It's
because
a weird
most
design
of
choice.
the thing I think
From Software's
go ahead.
From Software's weird with their co-op systems anyway.
Yeah, but what would that have?
Because I don't-
you know, like
I don't
like
think,
what would that like fuck up in the game? I don't understand that.
well, because I think
I'm
that
not
I
sure.
don't think what they I think what their thought process here was that you're not going to co-op in open world, that you're probably most likely going to co-op in a dungeon or wherever else where you're going to need help and things like that. Like and they did not think it, again, it's a flaw, but also too, if they're like, well, if we co-op this and we allow them to mount up and they just go in fucking two completely ass different directions, right? Like, how is that
That's the
going
only
to
thing. That's the only thing that I can think of is that maybe they've got like some kind of like some games with co-op. Like I think Fallout 76 had this when it first released. Was like if you were or not Fallout 76. One of the games had it where if you like moved too far away from the host, it would desync the entire server and you would get disconnected.
I know it does that in
Good.
PvP.
Curious.
Because PvP, you can right? Can't you get far enough away? It'll kick them out.
Mhm.
In PvP,
If you go through a boss wall or into a dungeon, it will.
It could just be how the game renders, and if maybe it's
Yeah.
rendering too fast between two different people, then it could cause issues. So.
I'm sure the
Yeah.
modders will fix it because they've already added a patch for fucking pausing the game. Like that's in there. You can download a mod to pause the game. So
Yeah, it's
are you fighting an invisible enemy?
From Software's co-op is just
Are you fighting an invisible, or we're fighting an invisible enemy?
yeah, so that was a you can get a weapon art from enemies like that. You'll just see the footsteps running around on the beach and you have to attack at the right time. They have a set route that they go through, but yeah, it was an invisible dude ski.
Nice.
And
Well-
I rolled up to this guy thinking it was an NPC, and then he pulls out a fucking halberd and starts getting up from the campfire. So I'm like, nope.
Well, look.
But-
Go ahead. Fine. Let's just do this. Let's wrap up final thoughts because we spent almost an hour and we're coming up on almost an hour and a half. Or an hour on it, so.
Last thing, PC fix it. Co-op is fun. Have played a little bit of the co-op with some of my community peoples, and it's a good time. It is weird how they've done the open world because you have to hoof it on foot everywhere, and you can't directly go into a dungeon since the dungeons are like quote unquote instanced. You can walk somebody to a dungeon, but there's a fog wall and they won't be able to go into the dungeon until you leave. But then as soon as you get into the dungeon, they can
join back up.
That's
yeah, they
fucking
have
weird.
to summon you back in. Yeah,
That's a weird. Yeah, I don't understand why they went down that route. That just seems complicated for no apparent goddamn reason.
Yeah, and
Wonder
it's
if
put
some
a
of the
lot of
thing
people
modders
off
will just
on
fix.
the co-op
Yeah,
aspect.
yeah,
People are
100%.
wanting to be able to play the game from start to
Right.
finish, and that's never been the way the Souls games have worked. You have
Right.
never been able to play. It's always that once you kill a boss, you're kicked out. But it's
Yeah, but
weird.
the Souls games have never been open world as well. So
Yeah.
Right.
And I also think that they lock you into specific regions in the open world map. So
Yeah.
you're like
In
locked
previous
in-
Souls games, there were instances though still that you would have to go through. So
Yeah.
like, was it the same thing in those games with the different instances or?
Yeah, similar
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's still I don't know.
But game's very good. I'm more than enjoying it, and I
That's good.
can't wait to put 30 more hours into it to finish it.
Yeah, I definitely for one will probably get it. I just am on the side of I'm gonna wait for the game to be optimized on PC because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna get this on a console.
Get the stable rig. Final thought is this is what I wanted The Witcher 3 to be more like. And I'm very happy that I have that kind of an experience because
Shut your whore mouth, sir. About my Witcher 3.
Witcher 3 is a great game.
Speaking
This
of
is
Witcher
also a
3, they
great
have
game.
a first person mod now. I just saw that. I kind of want to go back and play
I
it.
bet that's
Actually,
fucking
what?
pumped.
Yeah,
Actually.
they just came out with a first person mod for it. I actually kind of want to go back and replay it.
Can I have
try
some?
that?
Wait, can I do first person of them those like bathtub scenes with and
Yeah.
So you can look down and
You
look.
want to see Geralt's dick?
George R. R. Martin.
Are you really
No, I'm
George R. R.
just-
Martin? Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro. There's some scenes in there. There's some spicy corn content that might have to. Is it in VR too?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
You're pretty quick, probably.
Hey, look, there's one of those land octopuses that you were talking about.
Yeah, man.
Great game.
Don't let
Good
them
game.
procreate.
I'll probably wait until it's deeply discounted. I'm just not a Souls fan. Like this one
get
looks good. It
But
looks
you are
fun.
an open
I mean,
world
it's-
fan.
That's what I was about to say. It looks good. It looks fun. It's an open world, so I'll probably. I mean, it's interested me at least somewhat, but
But look, let's be 100% honest, right? You have Lost Ark right now, right? So like,
yeah, right.
I am gonna force this transition because we have to move on. We have other things to talk about.
Sorry,
we
sorry.
went
to
over.
feel-
No, don't be sorry. We're happy.
We gushed over Lost Ark last week for an hour and a half.
We
so-
are happy that you are enjoying your game. We knew that this was going to happen, and we, I'm happy that it's getting the praise. I'm happy it didn't come out like shit.
I was terrified it was going to be another botched launch.
Yeah, on the console. I mean, it's not shit on PC. It's just
it's playable.
It's got
for
its
most.
kinks.
Right.
Be fleshed
playable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. That's 100% playable.
Yeah.
That's
It's just
not
probably
great,
a little
but
more
it's
rage
playable.
inducing.
Yeah. It's just a little.
Anyways, moving on.
Let's move on.
Ark.
Yeah, Lost Ark. So Lost Ark is now in its fourth, or it's been out for a month. It'll be been out for a month.
It'll be a month next week.
Next week.
Or this week it might be. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's only 3 weeks this week, maybe 4, almost
I thought
4.
it's been out for 3 years.
Well, it's been out for 3 years in the East.
Oh,
Yes.
Got him.
In the West, it has just come out. And it's captured all of us minus Bill, obviously. He's got Elden Ring. But you want to talk about another like dick-kickingly difficult fucking game. This has got it to the point that they literally are nerfing the Guardian raids and some of the Abyssal dungeons mechanics and stuff like that, which has been a very hot take and controversy for some people back and forth, myself included. But yeah, I mean, look, I've gushed enough about this game. I mean, Enigma, Scruff, thoughts, feelings. You guys are in game now. We're all in game.
Were they nerfing the Guardian raids due to community feedback?
yeah.
Or were they
Essentially, they've gotten feedback from the community, and Gold River and Smilegate have been looking at like the character data and everything like that. So we had some numbers being thrown around the other night. I'm not sure if these are correct or not. I haven't personally looked into them, but one of our buddies at Taxis has been looking at it. I guess 0.5% of the population, the player population, has hit end game, has hit tier 3 right now, and they're planning on releasing the raids next month. I think within the next couple weeks at least.
This month.
So 0.5% of your player population is ready for the raids. That's not good.
So raids, I didn't even know this. Raids are only tier 3. You have to be tier 3.
Yeah, raids. You have to be tier 3 to get into
the Abyssal raids. The Abyssal raids.
The Abyssal raids.
Yes. The Guardian raids.
Not the Guardian raids.
No, yeah, no, not the Guardian raids. The big boy raids, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have all gotten to in game.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow.
I mean, wow.
I said, well.
I mean, well, we're all in the in-game grind at this point. Like we are all doing.
You're in mid-game, sir.
Motherfucker, I am 200 points below you, bitch. Get the fuck out of here.
Wait, I think Enigma hit 1,000, didn't he?
200
I'm
points
at
is pretty
1,000.
significant,
I'm
though,
at
isn't it?
1,033. Yeah.
No, congratulations. I'm at 920. I mean, so I'm 100 below you.
You finally upgraded that set of armor that I told him to upgrade, and he fucked up.
I guarantee that never mind. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to get into a fucking dick measuring contest here.
All I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the the end game loot grind, the RNG is brutal on the end game
Gee,
loot
It
the,
is.
grind.
the
Yeah.
honing RNG
The
is
honing,
brutal.
yeah, it's rough. But what I will say is that they, in my opinion, they do a good job because, and I think this is only because the game has been out for 3 years, and so we have content to do. Like I have heard from people that have played the Korean version since launch that it was rough in the very beginning.
I have no doubt. Yeah.
But like the thing about it is that we have enough to do, right? So like yes, you can go on and you can say, okay, I've gone through all of my honing that I can do, right? Because you basically get crystals, you have to get currency that are like 5 different currencies to hone your fucking gear. And once you get to a certain tier, like each percentage just drops and you're at like 40%. And I think it goes to as low as like 20% once you get to a certain tier
Yes.
of guaranteed success rate. And so with that, it's
And then even after that, you still need to like. There's a variation in what you can get from the hone, correct?
what do you
Even
mean?
if it succeeds.
No, so you'll hone your
No.
gear.
It's a set upgrade,
Right.
like right, like
Yeah, you're just going from
percentage.
Yeah,
like
you're just
from-
plussing your equipment. It just
Okay.
pluses whatever the stats are on that equipment.
it's not random. What's random is like well,
Well, the stats on the equipment are random.
but the faceting, well, that's based on quality though. But what they
Well, no, it's based on randomization. Quality is quality. Randomization for stats and the bonus stats are completely randomized.
yeah, but you can still get what I'm saying quality wise is like, or bonus stats wise is that you can go and take a piece of gear that has lower stats. You find a higher quality that's got higher stats, and you can do a gear transfer to basically
Yeah,
say,
and
hey,
then
I
what I'm
have
saying is that those stats are randomized.
Yeah. I'm not
you're
saying
not getting the same.
right.
Right.
I'm not saying they're not random. I'm not saying like I can find a 99 quality level and it's going to be the exact same 99 as something else. I'm just saying what I'm trying to segue into is their gear faceting or their gear transfer system is really smart in my opinion because it has basically if you spend all this time, all this money, all this effort on and money, I mean in-game currency, not fucking. I mean, I guess you could technically spend cash if you really wanted to, but you go in and you hone this gear up, you find another piece of gear that you want to transfer it, you can literally go in and say, hey, take this gear, move it over here, make this now plus 15 because I already did it and I'm good to go. I don't have to redo everything over again, which is rewarding. Or not rewarding, but it's nice. But what I'll say is like there's a lot of content, right? Once you get done with get all your stuff, you've done all your daily grind bullshit. Go and fucking float around islands forever. Go around and do your rapport quests. Go and like there's just a shit ton of stuff to do.
The islands are a lot of fun. I enjoy that probably the most right now. There's so many different varieties of islands to explore.
And there's just so much shit to do in this. And I think Asmongold said it the best. He was like, what they've done in this game was they made it so that you go from tier 1 to tier 2, from tier 2 to tier 3, from tier 3, you're doing your raids, and then it kind of circles back, right? And what you're doing at tier 3 helps your ults, which will move them up again, which continuously just kind of, it's just loop, right? Whereas in games like WoW, it's just basically as soon as they do a patch, as soon as they do an update, as soon as they do something, the gear all the shit that you just did is fucking worthless. It doesn't matter. And now you're replacing it. And so all of that grind, that work, that effort just feels kind of pointless. And in this, they don't do that. In this, they make it like cool. Like you're always progressing. You're always moving yourself forward. So you keep yourself kind of going, which is really good.
Yeah.
They do have some issues, and it's all on the Amazon side, and Smilegate's pretty pissed about it. They have
Always on the Amazon side. Yeah, the botting
terrible
issue.
botting issue. Terrible botting issue. Which
I knew it was going to be a thing too, obviously, because it always is with free-to-play titles, especially MMOs. I didn't think it'd be so drastic, like this quantity. And I know that was only an image of like one server, but I'd imagine it's pretty prevalent on most servers.
I'm sure it's probably close to that on most servers.
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, when you're talking about a 50% pop is bots on a server, that's fucking crazy.
nuts.
What's nuts
Yeah.
about it is that Smilegate has a fix for it, and they said that they're waiting on Amazon. Like, what the fuck are you waiting on? Like,
Right.
like
If I was Smilegate, I would just send it and be like, fuck you, Amazon. What do you think this is?
yeah,
Like,
this is.
Yeah, it's.
We've said it before.
It's
Go ahead, Enigma.
I was about to say it's one of those things. It's like on the last one. I think on the last podcast I had mentioned that I think that after this contract is
Yeah, they're
over,
done.
however long that they have on this contract, whether it's a year 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. I don't think I don't think Amazon will have this game
No, they won't.
after that contract ends.
No.
And I would not be surprised. I think you were saying this as well as I was, Sin, the other day, that I would not be surprised if it gets to a point where Smilegate's just like, fuck it, break the contract, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll pay.
I'm
We'll pay
done.
out. We'll pay out.
They have enough probably to do their own servers.
Absolutely. Whether or not they have their own have to do their own servers or whatever, they'll go to. They can create something off of my.com or
You can
whatever.
go to my.com like
Yeah.
they have in Russia. Yeah.
And push it there. So
It's not an ideal launcher. It's not an ideal situation for the US because
Probably
not
work better
I'm
than fucking
not a
Amazon.
big fan of my.com in the first place, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be a better option than Amazon at this point. Amazon is literally 0 and 4.
And I hate that they take credit for the successful launch.
Did you see what they posted today? I think you brought it up, Sin, where they posted that they right alongside talking about Lost Ark, they're talking about fucking New World being the hit, the smash hit MMO.
Yeah, groundbreaking MMO New World. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Nobody
outta
is
here,
playing
dude.
that game. Like, I don't know. Amazon is the problem. Amazon should never be allowed to touch another game. I'm happy that they made it so my game can come out here so I can play it, but like, let's get the fuck off this train and get on somebody that actually has functioning.
I feel bad for the EU boys. Like they're getting shafted
fucked,
hard.
dude. Fucking fucked left and right, man. They cannot figure out. And it's surprising a server-based company doesn't know how to fucking have servers. Like, it just is crazy to me. So, but anyway, you know, they're keeping content rolling. Enigma's actually asking for fucking cosmetics, which is crazy. He's like, yo, give me reasons to spend money. He wants cosmetics, but
I want cosmetics, but
they need to release something.
Burning a hole in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
I will say, also, I did some PvP as far as like I went to PvP Island, and I know Enigma was doing some PvP Island stuff. The PvP is a blast in this, man. It is so much fun. It gives me like straight up WildStar vibes again. I cannot.
They really spranked PvP.
I cannot wait to do some PvP content. So
yeah, we'll have a killer team going.
Yep. All right, moving on. Scruff, talk to me about this. What is this game?
Totally forgot. Core Keeper, yo. This game is sweet. It's currently in a early access demo phase. So right now what you're seeing is just me playing the demo, which I believe is just this one area.
It's just this cave.
Yeah, just this cave that you get put into. But the game's sweet, man. So pretty much it's your typical sandbox game, but it takes like aspects heavy from like Terraria and then puts it in this stylistic like format of Stardew Valley, and then it also takes some aspects from like Stardew Valley as well, just not like, I guess, like the progression. But dude, yeah, the game visually and like physically, like it is just really, really cool.
Can you not go down? Like, is there no verticality to it?
There's no verticality, no. So like, you see me like digging out a hole there, like I can't go there anymore. Like, it's just the abyss. So it is just a one-dimensional plane, but like Stardew Valley, kind of. I'm sure maybe in the future there'll be like verticality within instances and whatnot.
I think they have different like biomes and shit that they're gonna have.
Yeah, and it's like, I only just got into like the second biome. I haven't even had a chance to explore, but it's like the further out you progress, it seems, from your spawn point, it changes biomes. And I don't know yet if the game is procedurally generated or not, because like I said, this is just a demo. I'm not sure if this is like, if they're throwing you into the beginning of the game or like a demo version of the game.
No, I think this demo is not procedural because everything that you've been doing was the exact same layout that mine was. So
yeah. So, but again, I don't know if that's like actually how the game's going to be or not yet.
I highly doubt it. Yeah, I'm sure that this is just the demo map, like the demo seed.
I'm sure it'll be procedurally generated and whatnot, and with all the sandboxes and what worlds you spawn in. But it's got a lot of neat things. I mean, from the fighting to the exploration to even random encounter bosses that you find. Fucking, I almost beat the first boss and then he ground slammed me. It's a giant like slime, similar to Terraria again, being the first boss. And it's even got like farming, and you have stats in this game too. So like as you're just progressing through the game, you're leveling up your mining, your farming, your cooking, even all of it. It's fun, dude. It's really a pleasing game, and Yeah, I can't wait for it to come out, especially. What about you, though, Enigma? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, I picked it up on the Steam, whatever it's called, like the demo fest or whatever they had,
Yeah,
and posted it up in the chat. And I was like, this seems like right up Scruff's alley. I
yeah.
think it's fun, man. I think it's got big like Stardew Valley vibes with it too, with the farming. Big Terraria vibes.
It looks like Stardew Valley. Like literally,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
UI
Yeah,
is like
like I said,
almost
it's got the
ripped.
appearance of Stardew Valley with like a Terraria like model.
yeah. I was enjoying it. I played it for like I think like an hour and a half. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it. I'm gonna definitely pick it up as soon as it comes out.
For sure. And it's co-op too, so we'll
And it's
play
co-op.
together.
Yep. Yep.
Is it is it just 2-player co-op or is it?
I don't think it has a limit. I guess I haven't seen
I
one.
didn't see a limit.
500 players in
mhm.
one little area.
Let me check
I'm,
it out.
I'm
No,
sure
it's
it's
not
I'm
little,
sure it's
but
probably 4. Like it seems like that would be pretty much the
I don't know if they say
Wait, you mean
here.
you guys-
you guys-
1 to 8. 1 to 8
1 to
players.
8. There you
You guys aren't playing Babylon's Fall. I don't understand.
go. Right.
Um, but I don't know. I don't know how much this game's going to come out to be. But
I wouldn't
wow,
doubt it's
okay.
like 20 bucks.
Remember when I said that I would love for this game to come out tomorrow? It comes out March 8th.
Does it? Nice.
It literally comes out in 4
Hey,
days.
baby.
Right?
Hey,
You all Stark. Sorry,
I
Sin.
guess,
Fuck
I guess we
y'all,
know
y'all better-
what game we're playing
You
next.
better still fucking
Yeah, no.
donate to the goddamn guild. I swear to God. I swear to
Sweet.
God,
I'll
if I
still
find
contribute
out.
more.
Well, you mean my guild?
Yes, your guild.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
No, that's actually good. I had no idea this game comes out in 4 days. So
I
we'll
didn't know
definitely
it did either. That's dope.
Awesome.
It's fine. Me and
I'm
Bill.
very,
me
very
and,
excited
me
for
and
this
Bill.
one.
Bill will hold down Elden Ring. I'll hold down Lost Ark. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Anything else you guys want to talk about with this game?
I think we're good.
Okay,
I
cool.
think it
Oh,
covers
no,
it.
everything-
It's a simple game. It's gonna be, you know, like I said.
We'll
Terraria
probably
meets
have
Skyrim.
more to talk about as soon as we actually play it. So.
Yeah, definitely. We'll go over it
Check back
again once
next
it comes out.
podcast.
What is the Unliving?
Unliving is dope, man. I find you know how I always talk about that one necromancer game that I am looking for.
Yeah,
Like
Diablo
the
2.
one that does necromancy perfectly. The one
Yes,
that does
Diablo 2.
I can have hordes and hordes and hordes and hordes and hordes of undead, right?
Diablo 2, yeah. Got it.
This is that game. This is that game right here, man. Like it's so good. I'm loving it. I like the art style, the top down. I think you would actually enjoy this game as well, Sin, because it is it's a roguelike.
Mhm.
As soon as you die, you restart, but you keep progress as well
Does
on
look
your
really good.
character.
Yeah.
Who made this?
I don't know. I don't remember the name of the.
It looks
Go
like the
check.
Hero Siege graphics, but like
It does
a
look like
little
Hero
more-
Siege. Yeah,
You're
let me-
crazy
let me
to say
check.
this is like Hero Siege. This is like 10 times better than Hero Siege.
This is
like,
this is
yeah.
Rocket Bush Studios and published by Team 17 Digital. So Rocket Bush has made Overcooked 2, Themisia. Oh no, I don't think they made that, but it's Team 17 Digital. They're known for like the top down and the like
We're known for a lot of shit.
8-bit graphics, you know,
Worms, all that
yeah.
stuff.
But it's fun, man. It's a right up there with this like I said the necromancer games that I want to play. You can literally go around, kill people with your hordes of enemy or your hordes of undead, raise the people that you've killed,
a zombie dog.
and continue on. Yeah, it's awesome, man. And so far with the demo, I've only seen I think 3 types or 4 types of undead. You see the dogs. You've got the basic kind of skeletal warriors, the archers, the mage, and there's these like hulking like brutes that are like behemoths that you can get. But I know for a fact I've looked into it a little bit, and I know for a fact that there's a ton of other summons that you can get. And I don't know if they show it on this one, but there's a huge, like giant skill tree that you can go through. Each level that you're going through, the little like green dots that are on the map right there. You pick those up, you collect them, and once you die and you go back to your fortress, you can then level up your necromancer further. So that's where the roguelike comes into play, right? As you're going through the game, you're also obtaining like skills. There's different skills for your ranged ability that turn it into different types of ranged abilities. Like there's one that has like an AoE ability that burns. There's one that makes it a larger like projectile. There's one that makes it a fan projectile. So it's got a ton of like character customization or like build customization with it. And
How-
I enjoyed that quite a bit. Like it made it fresh every time that I played it. I think I went through like 3 or 4 different roles on this, and I never felt like I was the same character, you know?
How is the controlling the true, like, is it, because some of the thing I steer away from with necromancer games is because like what's it called,
Micromanagement.
micromanagement becomes a fucking pain in the ass.
This isn't bad. You can micromanage them if you would like, or you can just click on yourself and have them follow you around. You're not going to get as good of an experience if you just have them following you around, because obviously you're going to be the damage dealer. You're going to be the one that's out on the front line getting hit first, and then they'll attack stuff. But if you're watching the video right now, if you guys are live with us,
You're just
if
like
you're not,
following the cursor, right?
yeah, that's what I was about to say. If you're not watching the thing live with us, you can also hold down your right click on your mouse and like drag your mouse around, and they will follow your cursor around, and you can kind of place people where you want them, right?
Okay.
And then they also have an ability where you can click on certain enemies, and it'll cause a corpse explosion, like a giant explosion,
Mhm.
that will then either damage or stun certain enemies. And that's vital for some of those enemies, like the big Hulk guys. You have to stun them, or else they do massive amounts of AoE damage. They've got like a big, I think you're watching it right now, that big red circle
Yeah.
is one of the AoE circles for them. So
Huh. Okay.
it's not too much micromanaginess, but also I haven't played the full game, so I'm not entirely sure like what happens later on if you get different abilities
Does it
or anything like that.
does it get difficult to find your character? Like, because I mean, obviously, I know
I
you
mean, I
look
never had
different,
too many
but
issues with it.
It looks like you stand out pretty well
Yeah,
between them.
I mean, you're larger than everything else other than the behemoths, and you're a vastly different color from everything else. So, but again, that's probably just due to the fact that I'm used to that. I play a lot of summoner builds and everything like that, so I'm used to being able to pinpoint my character in a large
And are you
a
able
large mass.
are you able to like split? So if I want a group going this way and I want a group going another way, am I able to kind of do
Not that I've
Or-
seen. You can kind of do it where you tell them to
I
attack
saw
on
you
one
like
side.
trace around to flank.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
kind of tell them to where you tell them attack on one side, and then you drag your cursor around to the other side, and any of them that are not engaged will move to that other side where your cursor's at. So essentially, you can kind of like pincer move people, or you can kind of
It seems a
you
little
know,
tedious to try and split them up, though.
kind of. I mean, it's not bad. Again, once you get into the game and you start understanding the controls, it becomes second nature. It's really not that difficult to do.
So-
You literally just hold down your right button and drag your mouse around.
So my question is, and I don't know if you really experienced it too much because I know this is just a demo, but did the game get any harder at all, or
Oh,
could
it
you
got
see if
majorly hard.
It does.
Yeah,
Okay,
no.
'cause right now this looks kind of like a cakewalk.
This
I
this
imagine
is like
harder.
their entry level. This is like
Yeah.
the introductory level. But later on, once you complete like the introductory level where they kind of tell you what's going on with the game and kind of explain the controls and everything like that, like some of these hordes get huge. And then on top of that, you've got
Oh, it's just
mages.
hordes against horde, pretty much.
Yeah, on top of that, you've got mages, you've got people that are throwing bombs, you've
Right.
got people that are showing up behind you, and suddenly you're being flanked by one massive amount of people while also dealing with another massive amount of people. So you kind of got to reposition yourself.
So essentially,
And on top of that, you're getting shot at by archers that have like these holy arrows that do a shit ton of damage. Like getting hit by one of those takes out one entire bar of health. So
essentially, you're Ukraine and the enemies are Russia.
essentially,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
But it does get extremely hard. I enjoy it though, man. Like I'm not a really big fan. I mean, I like roguelites, but I'm not a big huge fan of them. And this is just enough of a roguelite that I'm like, okay, I can understand this. I can get behind this.
Yeah.
It's not bad, you know. And the fact that the progression
zombies,
system,
though.
the zombies, man, the zombies and the skeletanos, yeah, it's amazing. I love it, and I love the fact that you can have like this is a small horde in comparison to what you can have. I think you can have unlimited amounts as long as you can keep
You
them
can build a
alive.
screen.
Yeah, as long as you can keep them alive, you can just keep summoning. So
Wow.
that comes into play later on when you start getting like skills like more summon health, more summon armor. There was a skill that you could pop it and it would put down like a little totem that gave your minions like a 30% increase in damage reduction. stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Well-
it's like near and dear to my heart right now. I'm really loving it, and I'm loving the way that they're going with it. I'm hoping that it'll be great,
when
and
is
then I'll enjoy it.
when does it
Like
come out?
I've enjoyed so far everything that I've played so far.
When's it come out?
I do not know when it comes out. Let me check. I think it's soon.
Well, also while you're looking up that, it's just so you know, Smilegate. This is actually Smilegate Studios. They're just this is their test server for their Necromancer when they bring it out on Lost Ark.
There you go. Yeah. There is no actual release date. It says first half of the year 2022. So
Probably here soon.
soon
All
ish.
I'm saying is you can summon some skeletons in Elden Ring, not these many. But like, you can
I asked
summon
you.
some
I asked
skeletons.
you when you were playing Elden Ring. I was like, "Where's my fucking Necromancer build, Billy?"
And I pulled out a couple of Skelly Bros.
I do like the Necromancer summons or the skeletal summons in Elden Ring. The fact that when they die, they can then get back up, and as long as people aren't fucking with them, they get right back into the fray.
That's
Like, I
cool.
think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So-
that's neat.
But yeah, this is everything that I've wanted from my
This looks fucking
Necromancers.
baller, dude. This
And-
actually looks like a hella good time.
I'm
would really play
really
this.
looking forward to it, man. I'm really looking forward to playing it. So
Nice,
look forward to that.
nice,
I'll
nice.
definitely talk more about it when it does release.
So Enigma stream.
Maybe. I mean, I'm getting a new PC. So
Ooh.
Well, there you
Cool.
go. All right, boys and girls. Well, we have got 15 minutes to go through news and quick hits.
I love it.
So-
Speed round.
Speed round. So go ahead and get your questions ready, chat.
Yeah, concerning our
And,
topics.
yeah,
That'd
yes,
be
please.
awesome.
All right. So we talked about the Nintendo stuff. We don't have to go back into that with their lineup. I'm gonna go over the quick hit stuff and then kind of leave it open for the bigger discussion stuff after toward the end. But quick hit: Ubisoft says it's open to be purchased, and Netflix buys another gaming studio. So obviously we're in the season of companies buying companies, acquisitions, whatever else. I thought it was hilarious. I think we all kind of knew that a company would be out there kind of being like, hey, like if you want to buy us, hey, but we all thought it
I
would be
think we
coming.
called out Ubisoft as well.
Oh,
Like,
Ubisoft,
one of
absolutely.
us- Yeah.
That's one I called out.
It's-
I went back and I looked. I did not call out Bungie. I called Capcom, Ubisoft, and EA.
There
It's-
you go.
It is so funny the way that Ubisoft did it though, because Ubisoft's CEO like tweeted it. He was like, hey, by the way, we're open to being purchased. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
That's great. That's
Not
all right.
surprising, man.
Don't be so
It's-
desperate, bro.
Like,
That's-
seriously,
you gotta play
man.
It's
hard to
really not
get.
surprising, considering that they themselves are in a situation where they're dealing with sexual misconduct, kind of like Activision was as well. It's just not as openly talked about as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, hey,
I
Microsoft,
didn't- I didn't
we heard
surprise
we
it,
heard your
yeah.
buy-in gropey, disgusting, kind of grape culture studios. So
Microsoft bats and I like
Yeah.
Ubisoft.
but I think they're probably like, bro, we can only handle one at a time right now, man. This is crazy. Like, I don't know, but
They're begging.
trust me, I have no doubt that we will. Again, like I said, we called it. These companies are not going to stop, and if they're seeing these big dollar signs being thrown out there, yeah, absolutely, they're going to put a big fucking for sale sign on their front door. And just
Yeah.
be like, yo,
I do think that if Ubisoft was purchased by either it doesn't matter who, either Sony or Microsoft,
They're
or
gonna get a Microsoft.
it would
if
would
they get
be it would
purchased.
be an amazing fucking turn of events for them, because I think whatever company they go to would be able to right that ship a little
I
bit at
100%
least.
think so. There's a lot of gold to be had in Ubisoft IPs.
Exactly.
yeah,
But
I
it's
can-
gonna
I
be,
can only
it's gonna
hope-
be Microsoft if it happens because they've already partnered up with Ubisoft Connect.
They have in
Yeah.
the past.
I-
Yeah. I can only hope that they
Please,
bring
Tony,
back.
fucking up movie.
I can only hope that they bring back the Splinter Cell sagas and everything like that. Like I would
Might-
enjoy that.
I mean,
quite a
you've
bit.
seen Microsoft. They're looking to bring back Fallout New Vegas, so they're
Fallout New
looking
Vegas,
to
too.
bring
They're
back
going so
previous
far-
titles that were on like the back charts for
dude,
these
they're going
companies.
so far deep in Activision's fucking portal and backlog of games and stuff like that. It's insane, like stuff that people
Yeah.
have not even heard of before. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's a great thing, though. I'm excited for all this new stuff coming from these acquisitions. Honestly,
Bill, I know that you think that you thought that I was crazy and you think that I'm crazy, but I'm telling you right now, man, there has been heavy amounts of rumors that both Microsoft and Sony have been throwing hard stuff to From Software about whether it's locking it in for exclusivity or acquisition talks. Like from a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of resources
not
I have that
surprising.
are close to those companies, like hard.
I've covered the Sony acquisition talk before. That scares me for From Software, and I don't think From Software's going to do it.
I mean, they're throwing it at CD Projekt Red too. I mean, they're throwing it. It's like I said, it's acquisition season, man. It's going everywhere.
They're not throwing it at CD Projekt. That was that post that I posted up. That video that I posted up was just a what's the word I'm looking for?
Clickbait.
Not a rumor, but a his thoughts on what the next acquisition was going to be.
Hot
for
take.
Sony. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and again, we've only talked about.
I agree, and I said it myself in when we talked about it that I believe that CD Projekt Red would be picked up by one of them, and you guys were like, no, bro, fucking CD Projekt Red, fuck that.
I don't think any company's off the fucking hit list, man. They're all willing to be brought.
100% did. It came from your mouth. You were like, nobody is going to touch that.
I said. I'm just saying that I don't think anybody is that would be that interested in CD Projekt Red right now, but I don't think that they would. That any company like CD Projekt Red or those companies would turn it down. Like,
no, I think you're crazy, dude. Like, fucking CD Projekt Red has fucking Witcher is a huge fucking.
I just think there's other companies out there to fry that they would go after before that.
Yeah, but the other companies are larger and they're going to cost more. I think that CD Projekt Red could easily be a
$3 billion for Bungie is nothing to these companies. Like, what you mean? Anyway,
but that's what I'm saying. I think that CD Projekt Red in their and I'm sorry we're getting off track, and I apologize, guys, but I think that CD Projekt Red would be the best acquisition for Sony simply because it won't cost them that much.
And Sony doesn't have as big as a budget as Microsoft does.
Dude,
so.
And it pisses me off to say that, because at that point I'm like, oh shit, next fucking Cyberpunk or the next fucking Witcher is probably going to be.
If Sony buys CD Projekt Red, I will eat my fucking shoe, because of the fact that they literally did not allow their game to be sold on their fucking platform. Like, absolutely not. I think those
better get that shoe ready.
I would be fucking surprised. But also, what I was going to say is that we only talked about Sony and we talk about Microsoft, but also you got Tencent. They bought Nightingale Studio, right? The studio that is behind Nightingale.
Don't get me started.
Doesn't Tencent? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Tencent really just buys kind of stakes in companies, though. Have they?
They purchased this.
No, they purchased that.
That game is only going to Epic now. Like, for
speaking of stake in company, Sony does have a minor stake in From Software's parent company.
Yeah.
What's their parent company?
I think they did I can't remember the name of it, but I think they have like an 8%.
No. Blue Point, I think, right?
Blue Point.
Yeah, but Sony owned. So I thought Sony. I wonder how that works. Is I could have sworn that Sony had stock in a company that Activision owned, but they got dissolved or whatever else, or Microsoft had to pay. I don't know. I have to go and look and get my facts, but I could have.
Sony now has a stake in Dark Souls Dev's parent company, Katakawa Corporations, for 2% ownership.
That's not that much.
Nah, like I said, it's a minor.
That's
stake,
not even. That's not even a commanding ownership.
And I don't know if that makes them more or less likely to be like eyeballing From Software, like specifically, since they are like partnered up with.
Well, we know that From Software favors Sony, so I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah,
but I also don't think, given the success of Elden Ring and Sekiro, that's I think all the chips are on From Software sides. They're only going to get purchased out if they want to get purchased out. And I genuinely don't see, with the success that they've been having in the open gaming market, them doing that anytime soon.
Yeah, there's other companies I see being wanting to be purchased out.
I mean, I'm just telling you, an Eastern company will be picked up soon by Microsoft, 100%. An Eastern company will be picked up. They want it. They need it in their portfolio. It'll
probably be Capcom.
Capcom leans,
or Konami.
I don't know. I was thinking Capcom will be picked up by Sony.
Out of all of these acquisition possibilities, I want somebody to buy Konami just to revive Castlevania and to revive.
They'll buy the IPs. They won't buy Konami.
And to revive Silent Hill.
Konami makes way too much fucking money off of their health clubs in Japan and stuff like that, and their slot machines and stuff. They'll buy the IPs out before they would buy the company itself.
Gotcha.
Wish we would have pinned that
But,
screenshot. It's a good reference.
Anyway, what I was gonna say. So going on to the other stuff. Like I said, Tencent bought Nightingale Studios, or the studio that's making Nightingale,
Pisses me off,
which
man.
means it will be an Epic exclusive. Also, Epic bought Bandcamp, which is a music thing, but like they're in hot water because Tencent, which owns a huge stake in Epic, also owns Spotify. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, I don't know, man. Tencent's fucking crazy in what they own.
Yeah.
But
They got stakes and everything. I
now
swear.
also too, because of acquisitions, I don't know, what did it come out and say that Bethesda, the reason them moving and going back to Steam off their launcher was because of Microsoft? I have a strong feeling it was because of Microsoft.
I don't doubt it, but I don't think that they ever said the reason why they're moving back. I think that one of the comments was just that the launcher didn't do as successfully as they thought it was going to.
No shit. But yeah, that's now going back to Steam, which thank God. Also,
So if you want to play, Fallout 76 on Steam,
hey,
there you go.
And the mod community was happy once again.
yeah,
Right.
the Returnal devs are working on a new IP. I'm excited to
Pretty
hear
excited
what's-
about that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Returnal was so.
Another Returnal, but maybe they will eventually.
I mean, they
What's
left
Housemarque,
it
right?
pretty open to sequels. It's the whole game's ambiguous in general, so I wouldn't be surprised. But I would like to see an independent IP.
It's Housemarque Studios, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of modding community, PC Xbox gaming app is going to allow mods, which I think is really dope, man. I think that's a really big push forward. Like I said, Microsoft I think is doing some really cool things in their world of being very mobile, which is
Catering
awesome.
to every audience.
Yep. So keep it up. Skyrim Grandma. All right, Enigma, take it away, man, because it's not good enough for, like, I'm not gonna do it justice. I didn't even know this woman even fucking existed.
Sin doesn't want to talk about this.
That's
but
not
he'll
even said I
fucking
didn't want to
gush
talk
over
about it. I just don't understand
Tetris,
it, but
you know?
whatever.
Let's give a moment.
I just wanted to have a
Go ahead.
conversation
Hey,
about it.
moment.
A quick
Yeah,
conversation.
sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you're at all familiar with Skyrim, you know who Skyrim Grandma is. Fairly Curry, I think is her name. She's been a big content creator in the YouTube space for Skyrim for I think since it fucking released, honestly. She had a stroke the other day, so if you guys got prayers, thoughts, anything you got, send it up to Odin. Be like, hey, help Skyrim Grandma out. She's a dope lady. Fucking 80, I think.
Dude, she's pure. Just
I think she's either 89 or 91. I can't remember how old she is, and she's still rocking Skyrim like 100%. So she had a stroke. It affected her motor skills and her memory skills, which is not good. She says that she can't remember hardly anything about Skyrim or any of her gaming franchises that she's been playing. So
that's so sad.
best of luck to her. Hopefully she can go and get some physical therapy and get some memory. Memory
Yeah, I mean,
help with that.
From what I understand, there's a pretty decent chance that some of those memory
will
issues
come
can
back.
be-
Yeah.
it'll come back over time.
Really, memory can come back, and motor skills can come back from a stroke. It's just it's going to take a long time.
Just
I would
takes time.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best of recoveries.
I had a family member that had a stroke, and he lost all motor functionings in both arms and was pretty much paralyzed from his voice function was nothing. Like he couldn't talk, and he was.
It's just sad, man, because
she's
she's been a huge factor in like the Skyrim players for a long time.
Community.
To the point. I was about to say to the point that she's in the next Elder Scrolls game. They're gonna have an NPC of her.
Yeah,
So,
if you're in the Skyrim community at all, you know Skyrim Grandma. Like,
and that wasn't because I will point out Bethesda are a bunch of fuckwits because that was not up to Bethesda. Like literally all of their fucking the people that play those games were like, you will put it in there or we will riot.
Yeah,
and they finally had to give in.
Shouldn't it be a hard thing?
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't.
Well, even shitty Blizzard immortalizes like big bands.
Yeah, so
and molesters,
we're
we'll get into that, I suppose.
Best of recoveries to Skyrim Grandma.
Yep.
Prayers and
I don't know
thoughts.
who she is, but I hate for anybody to have a stroke and anybody to go through
Yeah,
that.
man.
So
It's just sad news for and especially for somebody that's as popular as she is in the gaming sphere. So
yeah. Bill, we're actually petitioning. Me and Enigma have started it. We're petitioning to actually have you put in the next Elden Ring game.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
we pretty much figured that you will be Elden Ring Grandpa Bill.
Wait,
Like,
we
or
want
Soul Grandpa
he's
Bill.
not those creatures on the beach.
Yeah, I was about to say we want them to finally accept that you are the land octopuses.
octopus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because we pretty much know that you will be when you're 91 years old playing Souls like games. or
Grandpa,
whatever
why are you
It-
playing that fucking
if-
old ass
if
PS5?
If my arthritis doesn't prevent me from
Oh,
not
by
being able to
that
put
time we'll be
roll
playing
times
with our
right.
minds. What are you talking about? It won't matter.
Grandpa,
anymore.
we're on PS76. Why the fuck are you still playing 5?
It will be inside of Dark Souls virtually,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
implanted into his head.
In the
Dude,
metaverse.
that'd be pretty cool. Low key, the modding community is great for the Souls games. They actually do that quite a bit with content creators in the space. They'll put them into their mods. So
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. Modding community. Let's get Bill in a Elden Ring or Souls game,
Let's
please.
do it.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
All right. So, ransomware group that hacked Nvidia is claiming that Nvidia counterhacked them. I'm back.
Good.
Wait, I
I mean,
didn't know
nice.
Nvidia counterhacked. I thought it was
No, well,
another group.
okay, they have not yet confirmed or denied, but the
They got
group
man.
group is saying that they were hacked by Nvidia, which
Oh
this is not also, just so everybody knows, this is actually not far from Nvidia's playbook. They've been hacked before and has actually turned their team against the hackers and have done this in the past.
How the turns have tabled.
Yeah.
Well, they've hacked another group.
It cracks me up when these hacking groups do this, where they're like, "Oh shit, we got counterhacked." It's like you can't hack somebody and then complain that you got hacked.
You can't claim as a victim, bro. It doesn't work.
That's like
I don't understand like the surprise coming from like one
Right.
of the biggest like innovators in like artificial intelligence and like online.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you know they have people in their sphere that will
Or
take care
hackers
of
themselves.
this.
Yeah.
They probably look for hackers to hire.
Well, the thing
It's
about
like,
it too
that's
that
like
they
a
were
criminal complaining that somebody broke into his fucking car after he broke into somebody else's car.
they were holding them for ransom. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't just like they went in, hacked, and were being, I mean, hacking in general is not, it's not good, right? And it's
It can be. It can be used for good.
it can be
It's
used for
just-
good,
Like,
but
like with Elden Ring.
right, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be
Got
used
that
for good, but
segue
it's a
back
little
again. How many
unethical.
times can we bring it up?
yeah, but in most cases, it's not. It's used for nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
in this sense, like, and even in nefarious purposes, they usually are just like douchebags, and they got a bunch of information, and the company's like, "Fuck, we have to go and like, give out protection and all this other kind of stuff." I mean, I had an email come in yesterday where I had to sign up for protection because my stuff got stolen from us, a site or whatever. It's just the common world we live in. But these assholes are like, "Hey, we're gonna hold you ransom for like, I think it was like $10 million or something like that." And so
Some chump change.
And so Nvidia's like, they could pay it. They could easily pay it, but they're like, bro, we're in the middle of trying to develop the 40 series. We've got all this. You know what? Go get them. Just fucking. They let the dogs loose. And they're just like, go hack them back, man.
That's awesome.
So did they get the encryptor from? Did they like hack and like get the
From-
encryptor for
From
the data?
everything that I've heard, they are not sure if they got any access into like the memory or anything like that for video cards. They
No, I'm talking
do.
about Nvidia, the counter hack. Did they
Oh,
get
my
their,
bad, my bad.
Did they get the ransomware encryptor or de-encryptor? I guess.
I don't know. I'd have to go and look.
Yeah. I know for a fact that the actual people that hacked Nvidia got encryption to counteract the hash limiter that was on a lot of the new GPUs. So there's that, I guess.
So apparently, from what people are saying, is that the attack back on these guys was, remember in Jurassic Park, the first one, whenever the dude created the virus that had he goes up and he shakes his finger. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so,
that
that's all.
apparently every time that these guys booted up their shit, that's what would go on. That would turn on. Turn on
you
their
didn't
screen.
say the magic word.
They just fucking troll hacked.
Yeah,
That's fucking hilarious.
So again, I don't know.
That's great.
I don't know.
That proves a point too of like you guys are really trying to hold us for ransom, but at the same time it's like making fun of them. That's great.
So again, if it isn't Nvidia, man, congratulations, dude. Way to be. So we talked about that. We talked about last topic, and we're a little over time, but it is important that we do spend some at least a little bit of time to talk about this. Is obviously, unless you live under a fucking rock, you are aware of what is going on in the European region. Obviously, Russia are a bunch of douchebags and are attacking Ukraine. And there have been a bunch of sanctions and a bunch of companies that have basically pulled everything from Russia, and cutting them off. And Ukraine calls for a ban on Russia from several gaming companies, including Sony, Microsoft. Hold on one second. They requested Epic Games, Nintendo, Rockstar, 2K, Moonton Games, Bandai Namco, PDX, ATVI, Konami, Bethesda, Tencent Games, Supercell, Xbox, Sony. The list goes on and on. Basically just saying, hey, look, like CD Projekt Red, CD Projekt Red and Blizzard both have halted sales to Russia.
Yeah.
As well as GOG too. So yeah.
So I'm kind of conflicted, and I know we didn't want to get too far into this, and this isn't necessarily political in nature, but I'm kind of conflicted about that whole thing because, like, if you know any of like the back end of things, and you've been paying attention to a lot of like what's coming out of Russia, right? Like the Russian people are not happy about this.
Being held hostage,
right?
Yeah,
They
right.
don't like the fact that they're going to war with Ukraine. At least most of them don't, right? Obviously, there's probably the far reaching ones that are like, yeah, fuck Ukraine, you know. But predominantly, most of them are like, no, this is ridiculous. Putin's an asshole, right? And that's where it comes down to, like, when you have people that are calling for video game companies to stop sales to a certain country because of what their oligarch or their leader is doing. It doesn't sit well with me, because it's like the people aren't the ones in Russia that are being like, yeah, we're gonna go to war with Ukraine, right? Like they're not they have no say. So banning them from buying games and playing games, an integral pastime that could take their minds off of this shitstorm that they've got going on over there, to me is a little fucked up, you know?
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was them wanting to ban Russian-made games from distribution.
That's what I thought at first too, but I think it's
Well, no, because
now?
again, CD Projekt Red and Activision and a couple of other games have banned and ceased sales to Russia completely.
Yeah,
I think it was that, but I think it's gone past that, and now it's.
I'm sure that there are those. I'm sure there are those instances of Russian games.
Because I can understand that
selling.
in the aspect of
I can understand
you need
that.
to,
Yes.
you need to have a
You need
complete
to cut off
economic shutdown.
Yeah, you need to cut off economic ability to that country for a certain point of time, right? But even that, to a certain extent, I'm like, these game developers are not the ones that are making that decision. Like, they're not the ones that are going, hey, yeah, Putin, let's go to war. You know, they have no issue with being like, hey, fuck Putin. You know, except for the fact that they'll probably get shot.
Yeah, but they're still gonna get taxed to hell to fund
yeah,
the war.
Yeah, of course.
Well, the problem that is seen in this, right, is the fact that you're talking about trying to put squeeze and empathy and humanity into a leader who doesn't give a shit about their own people. So the whole thought process here is like, oh, if we completely shut off Russia from the rest of the world, then Putin is going to be like, fuck, man, I'm causing my people to have hardships. Let me reverse this. And bro, if he's okay with nuking a country or turning fucking a war onto a country, he's not going to care about this. So you know, war sucks. This sucks. This is not this is just, and again, I don't know anybody that can be on the side of Russia with all of this. With the Russian people, I do feel bad. Like I feel terrible for the Russian people, and we feel terrible in our hearts and souls, in our hearts and prayers and everything go out to Ukraine. Like, this is just
they stabilized that power plant, by the way.
They did.
Did they? Nice.
Ukraine's made
Dude,
a statement
fuck
I
saying
was
secure
I was
and
really worried
stabilized.
about that, man.
Let me tell you
Yeah,
something,
that's
man.
scary.
I know again we're not talking about a war, but fucking Ukraine, dude. Let me tell you something, man. You want to talk about little engine that could?
Rock
You want to
stars,
talk about the
man.
guys that
Yeah,
are just
man.
like, we have the weight of the fucking world coming down upon us, and they are like, fuck you, to the point that Grandma is literally going out with an AK-47 to take
Molotovs, bro.
to
A
defend
Grandma
yeah.
Shirley over there putting her
distributed
Yeah.
AK-47, mind you.
Grandma Skyrim over there putting on her Skyrim bibs.
Like, dude, it's fucking nuts, man. And the president going out and being like, "Fuck you, I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm going out
Yeah.
and I'm getting in my like I'm fighting along." Dude, much love to
the stuff
him.
that's come out from Ukraine side is just it's really inspirational, honestly. Like the things that they were doing to stand up.
Yeah.
It's
So
great.
just anyway, yeah. This is a shit situation. All of our stuff goes to Ukraine. And again, I will say the Russian people, right? Fuck Putin, fuck what he's doing, you know, or whatever else. But I do feel for the Russian, citizens of Russia that do not want this. This is not a war that they signed up for.
Just getting in the crossfire of Putin's fucking devastation.
Of bullshit. So, you know, and with everyone in Ukraine, it's, you know, it's just, this is a shit situation, man. Yeah. On that note, you know, again, hearts and prayers go out to everybody. And thank you for tuning in. I mean, that's our show. You know, and yeah, I don't know. Video games right now, it's a way to get away from what's kind of going on in the world. You know, sometimes maybe it's important to look at what's going on too, just understand the plight of everything. But you know,
except for if you're playing World War III, and then you're just getting into what's going to happen here pretty quick.
Yeah. So. But that's the show, guys. Again, I mean, we can go around the whole.
We have any questions? I don't, unless you guys had any in your chat.
Somebody asked if Twitch is okay. I think JR asked if like Twitch is okay.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah. Ask Twitch, are you okay?
I don't know. Twitch is never okay.
The answer is no. The answer is always no.
Yeah, no.
And you got any questions in your chat?
Oh, no, wait. It's just offline.
Yeah, I do, but they, you know, you guys don't have enough viewers or clicks to answer them.
I stand corrected. We do have one question. Stevens has asked this: has anyone used the new Twitch Luna service, which we actually didn't talk about? So if you have Prime, you actually now have access to Luna and can use Luna.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Amazon's shitty Stadia version of streaming games.
Oh, really?
So it's
Not
their
heard
game.
of that.
Hey, you can play New World on it.
I'm good. It'll probably lag and
yeah,
kick me out or steal my money somehow.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
no, I have not. I've not tried it yet. I will download and try Luna just for you. So, and then we have a question that says, "I love you." I don't know if that's
it's not really a question.
Question.
Yeah, I love you too.
So, anyway, round the horn. Let's go where everybody can get and do their shout outs. Bill, where can everybody find you at?
I'm on YouTube and Twitter, and that's pretty well it. And we're going to be playing a lot of Elden Ring for a very, very long time.
There you go. Billy space D space Squid, SKWID. Scruff, where can everybody find you at?
Twitter, Twitch, Agent Scruffy, Instagram, Agent.Scruffy, and TikTok, Agent Scruff.
There you go. Enigma, hey, you can't be found.
Yeah, apparently I can't be found. You guys don't have enough followers to get my channel. Yeah. No, twitch.tv/enigmatical gaming.
Or in one of our streams, because he will be there talking and giving.
Or in one of your streams. Yeah.
Yep.
Twitter, Enigmatical TV. So pretty easy.
And as always, you can find me on Twitter and on Twitch, S1N3N.
On Cornhub.
And on Cornhub, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot I signed up for that too. Yeah.
So
mine over there is a enigmatical land octopussy.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, guys, for the Send-In, the agency, the Tide Pool, and the Coalition, the Pre-Patch Podcast is out of here, guys. Bye.
Deuces.
I said deuces.
I said deuces. Fuck you.
Oh, y'all shut up.
Deuces?
Installation.